Father, it is a good thing to give you thanks each and every day that our eyes is open to see another blessed and holy day. Father, we are glad again to be called your sons and daughters, your children. We are happy and glad to know that we have a Father who made us and made us to serve him only. Nobody else. Therefore, Father, we thank you as we come before your throne in the name of your loving Son, Yahushua, who loved us. Father, we thank you for this day of rest. We pray, Father, at this time that your holy presence will be felt in each and every one of our lives, wherever we are, from the four corners. Remember those that are sick, those that visiting us for the first time. We pray that thou may rest your hand upon the bodies of each and every one and heal them from the crown of their head to the sole of their feet. That all will lift up their hands towards heaven and give you thanks and praise. Father, we ask in you once again to rest your hand upon Brother Yona and complete healing him and all others that are sick. We pray for the teacher today, Brother Oshe, that I may speak to him through him. And don't forget Brother Yona likewise. Remember also Brother Kifa will be reading and Brother Mike. Father, we ask a blessing upon them as they read your words, that the words will come out fluently from their lips. And we all will receive and hear the words clearly. Bless the words. Guide and protect your children throughout the rest of the day. And if there is anyone that should not be on the internet today, we pray that I may remove them and allow your service, your teaching to come out fluently with power, and we all will receive all the blessings. Father, we love you and we thank you. We ask it through your Son Yeshua, we pray. Amen. Our Father, which art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is your kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Well, Mishpachah, I want to say Shabbat Shalom to you again. To all that is hearing us today, we want to say thank you to the Most High and his angels for protecting us. You know, when Rabbi was talking earlier, I was thinking about the opportunity that all of us are blessed with. That opportunity is life. We are still alive, Mishpachah. Today, currently, regardless of how healthy we are still alive. And we are witnessing the words that the Messiah put in the mouth of the prophets and what he also quoted and said himself. These words are fulfilling before our very eyes. We should be grateful and thankful that we are still breathing and we're still witnessing and seeing the greatness that's happening around us. And I just want to encourage everyone to stay encouraged, regardless of circumstance or situation. The words that we have are alive, and they are the words that are keeping us from being destroyed. And in these last days, as things ramp up to get worse, stay encouraged, because the Most High's plan will come true, come to pass. Like I always say, we have to do what we're supposed to do, which is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments in love. Not like how Christianity pushes the love doctrine, but we have to keep those laws, statutes, and commandments in love. Okay? And the Most High is going to do his part. The examples are there for all of us to see, Mishpachah. Yeah. Take the book, take the time, read for yourselves. Amen. Read for yourselves. One thing the enemy has done, he has given us this idea of not wanting to read, that it's not good, it's boring. But the more you read the word, Mishpachah, the more amazing your life becomes. Because nothing can come up against you, nothing. So today we're going to go into part number 2 of Edom. We was looking at the life, we was looking at the character, we was looking at the prophecies and everything surrounding this particular nation of people called Edom. This is part 2. If you missed part 1, it's already uploaded on the channels that we have. Take your time, go back if you haven't seen it, look at it. And if you have questions, you're welcome to ask us by sending us any emails. We can go over and answer those questions. But this is part 2. We're going to continue. There's a lot of interesting things to cover, a lot of history, and we're just kind of compacting it so we can better understand how this whole picture is playing out and unfolding before our eyes, okay? If we understand the players on the chessboard, we'll understand the game that's being played that our enemies are putting out. Shalom, Kifa.
Shalom, shalom.
All right, Brother Kifa is going to be reading for me today, and then I have Brother Mike on standby in case we need so. Go ahead and start for us.
Shalom, family. Genesis 36, verse 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
So again, we are identifying who these people are. Esau is Edom. Esau is a progenitor. He's the father of this nation that we call Edom today. And we're going to get into how the world, which is operated by the devil, Hashatan, Satan, the old dragon, the old serpent, all these different identities that he goes by. Him and his fallen comrades are using this particular nation to fulfill the prophecy because the Most High has put it that way. We're going to continue to see that. So as a recap, we covered Esau's birth and showed how his mother had a very hard time with the twins being carried within her. In part 1, we talked about how it was hard for Rebekah to carry those twins, the two nations that were fighting. And last week, a sister had asked a question. I'm going to answer it today about menopause, if that's also part of the curse that was given to Eve, as far as her having that pain and that travail. And yes, that is also part of the curse also. That's the back end of birth. The front end is being having the ability to carry the seed through the 9 months, and then delivering a child, and then in your later years, as you are getting older in age, the menopause is the downside to that. So that is also part of the curse. And every woman, I should say, goes through that because that is what the Most High has put out. We on the other hand, as men, our curse is to work. we have to bear everything. We're still responsible for the woman too. When she's going through that, we're going through that too. So we have a double portion of that curse. So Rebekah was experiencing that, and we can see the two nations that were formed in her womb, two different nations altogether. And I mentioned that the Most High is the one behind the scenes putting this together. A lot of people can't fathom in their head. They think it's impossible for you could have two nations out of the same seed. Yes, if you look it up, two parents can give birth to a child and have different blood type altogether. If the Most High can create earth out of nothing, he can create two different nations out of one womb. So just remember that. We looked at the many examples of Esau and his offspring's characteristics. We saw how wicked. We're going to continue to see more things as we go through today's lesson. Also of what makes him who he is and why the Most High created him within that role. So the roles are what we are identifying when it comes to what's on the chessboard, what's moving up and down, how the Most High is moving the pieces according to his will. Everything we see is according to his will. And one of the greatest schemes that the enemy has done is created religion to kind of distort and to make people go onto the wrong path. And hopefully we can get them back on the right path, speaking to our people. All right, so this is continuing from last week. I put this in here so we can get the essence of the backstory moving forward. Again, this is Benito Mussolini And this quote we read last time, go ahead and read it for me again, Kiefer.
The fascist government.
The quote.
We do not argue with those who disagree with us. We destroy them.
That's the mindset again of these nations before us. And to the right, you see they're sucking on the breast of the wolf or the dog, which is basically the same thing. This is the twins of what Rome was birthed out of. We're going to see some of that. You're going to read that now.
The fascist government of Benito Mussolini used the she-wolf as a symbol in various ways. In Old Norse texts, Fenrir wolf plays a key role during the events of Ragnarok, the end of the world.
So they know what they're talking about when it comes to the end of the world. And one thing we're going to see, all of the witnesses that we see in our scrolls line up perfectly. There's no contradiction when it comes to the book of Jasher, Jubilees, Enoch, and the 66 books, along with the Apocrypha, which they call the hidden books. They all point and show Israel is the key, important, special, chosen people, and the rest of the nations play their role as far as bringing forth the prophecies that the Most High has put out. And one of the prophecies was prophesied by Daniel. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream about the golden statue, the great image with the golden head, silver, with the brass, and then interesting down to Rome, which was iron, and then later on iron and part clay. It's all right before our eyes. Rome, iron. Rome rusts. This is why we have that particular verse says, never trust your enemy. As iron rusteth, that gives us a clue who it's talking about. And then clay, majority of clay, when you deal with other nations and how they are surrounded, we can look at it from many aspects. Buildings that are created where you have steel structures going up today. These structures that roam through the seed all the way down to Europe, America, and all these countries that are in power today, they're going around destroying and building up their kingdoms. You want to say something, Rebbe?
Yeah, just a couple of things on the Roman aspect. First, you touch on a point that I think needs to be brought to the forefront, which is, when the Bible says in the book of Daniel that the last kingdom is going to be, and I'm sure you're going to cover that too, which is Rome. And that's the same kingdom of Esau that has been noted as Rome. It's interesting how it says that the statue has iron and clay mixed together. Isn't it funny how most of these building constructions that you see, almost all of them that build a Western and modern world, is made from concrete and iron, steel? Isn't that interesting how all that's coming together? But again, I want to go over that fascist thing there with Benito Mussolini. So these people have a history that speaks about the history that the wolf, the she-wolf, is a symbol of Rome. And it's funny how, okay, if it's a symbol of Rome and the Bible says that Rome is the last kingdom that's going to be on this earth, and everything that comes out of Rome, the various countries like America and so forth. It is funny how they said that the legend with Ragnarok, that's the Norse, that Fenrir, the wolf, the Fenrir wolf is a she-wolf, right? It's a she-wolf. And the Bible spoke about this woman riding the beast and all that stuff. And this she-wolf is supposed to be coming out, according to the Norse legend, when the world is ending, right? And so when you look at, as you've shown here for the Mishpachah, the Capitoline wolf, And every government has a capital. For some reason, it all looks like the same one that's in Rome, the Vatican.
Yes.
We went over this many times before, but for those who are new, when the Bible tells us certain things, you better believe it. It's fact. So what they try to do to hide things is create what you call legend. So you're not going to pay too much attention to it. You're going to think, that's just folk stories. But when you look into the legend, it lines up even with the book of Joshua. I think Brother Shea is going to cover that too. And you see those two characters, Remus and Romulus. There's a legend. And when you read the book of Joshua, you'll see how there were two particular individuals who rose to power. One is the son of Esau, which took over southern Europe, Italy, Greece, those places around there. And also shared at some point in time power with another. And so I'm not going to say too much. I'll let Brother Shea do the class. But as you can see, the people know who they are. We need to be able to trust in the Most High and believe His word.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Rebbe. Yes, Mishpachah. Even though, you know what's funny? And this is just for, I guess this pertains to the remnant, because no matter how much evidence we put out, we could have the person saying, yes, I did it. All people won't believe it. They still look at you and says, nah, that ain't true. It doesn't matter. So this is the class that we put out. These classes that we're putting out is for our people who want to learn the truth, who want to be saved by our Messiah. Okay. For the rest of you all who enjoy living in this world of destruction, enjoy it for the time, because that time is coming short. Okay. The birthright. So last week I touched on a couple slides on this. We're going to go over it again to continue to keep the flow and everything fluid. So we're going to start back in Joshua 27 to kind of build up the story again, to understand how all of this plays out for the future.
Joshua 27 verse 1. And Esau at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went in the field to hunt.
So it tells us that he is going and doing what he normally does. Frequently means that you do what? You're always going and doing this thing, okay? Let me pull this aside real quick, and let's go to the book of Jubilees so we can understand how it all comes together. Jubilees 26. We're going to read verse 1, 2, and then verses 4.
And in the 7th year of this week, Isaac called Esau, his elder son, and said unto him, I am old, my son, and behold, my eyes are dim in seeing, and I know not the day of my death.
So everything, like I said before, that is written plays a very important part when we're reading scripture and prophecy. Isaac is saying his eyes are dim. That has a lot to do with him not being able to see what the Most High didn't want him to see at the moment, and understand who is being chosen and why they're being chosen. We're going to see that as we go through the lesson today. And he was also at the point of going to take that long nap, okay? And he wanted to pass on his heritage to his favorite son at the time. Verse 2.
And now take thy hunting weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field and hunt and catch me venison, my son, and make me savory meat, such as my soul loveth, and bring it to me that I may eat, and that my soul may bless thee before I die.
Now, all of this again is important. Esau is going out frequently to hunt. So he has his tools. His tools is always a bow and an arrow or a sword. These are the three things that surround him, because when he was blessed, later on as we're going to see, he's blessed with the sword. That means the power to wield. This is why when you watch all these movies that come out, the new one just came out, He-Man, there's a sword. Mm-hmm. King Arthur, there's a sword. Sword in the Stone. Mm-hmm. All these knights that have swords, right? Star Wars, lightsaber is a sword. Yeah. And the list is long. And then with the modern day army, the arrow is the gun. The bullets are the quivers, okay, that come out of the weapons. The bombs is like a quiver, just a bigger version of it. Missiles. And we're going to see how even the missiles are called arrows. We're going to touch on that too. So Esau's tools are mentioned here on how they hunt. Also, I want to highlight, because there is a doctrine going around that Esau loved cooking raw meat. Now, I showed you how Esau today is eating raw meat, but in this case, it didn't start this way, Mishpachah. Remember, he brought this savory meat to his father. Isaac is not going to be eating anything raw or uncooked or unclean. He's not going to present that to his father. So understand that later on, as Esau evolves into who he become today, that spirit that is upon him causes him to do those things. But in this case, currently, he's not eating raw meat, Mishpachah, okay? And I saw somebody trying to teach that, saying he's out there eating raw meat and he was cooking this stuff. And that's not the case at this moment, okay? Verses 4.
And Esau went forth early to the field to hunt and catch and bring home to his father.
So he's going out to hunt for his father, okay? Verses 3 of Joshua 27.
And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days.
Now, if you all remember last week, I was saying that at that time, Esau was the greatest hunter on earth, mighty hunter. He was blessed with that skill. Nimrod. Yes, Nimrod was the mightiest hunter at that time. He was the king upon the earth before the Most High distorted the languages and separated the nations. He was the king and he was the one that was on top. Now we see the shift in power, and he realized that Esau was out there hunting. When you talk about observing, it's the reports that were coming in from all around the countries. He's just not sitting there looking at Esau now, but the word is coming back to the king. This guy's out there. He's picking off people. He's killing stuff. He's setting up traps. He's dangerous. He's a very dangerous individual. And Nimrod saw that. Verse 4.
And on a certain day, Esau went in the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men.
I also mentioned that the hunter is being hunted. A lion is looking at a cheetah, which is looking at a gazelle. And the gazelle are everyone else on the board, whether it's an actual animal they're hunting or people that they're hunting, taking over countries, taking over territories and governments. You see, Nimrod was the one doing this on a smaller scale. Esau was coming up to do it on a grand scale. Verse 5.
And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness, but they're removed at a distance from him.
So they're out there doing their thing.
And they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself for Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness.
So it's giving us a lot of information here. As a detective, we have to pull those clues out. Esau, first of all, concealed. The enemy loves to conceal. They're going to hide. And that ability of hiding is taking some of the truth.
Yes, Father, hear you.
That's some beautiful thunder in the back. I don't know if y'all heard that. Esau is concealing. He takes some of the truth and mixes it with a lie. And if you don't know what is truth from a lie, you will be deceived. This is what you call painting your face, changing your identity to blend in with the surroundings. So he concealed himself from Nimrod, and he lurked. That means he's stalking. He's in the corner peeping through the bushes. He's observing. He's taking note. He's taking down all of your activities, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on social media, by collecting data, your behaviors. He's been doing this. The wilderness is the world. This is what we're dealing with today. So he is over here looking at Nimrod, hunting, and he's taking note of that. Verse 6.
And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field.
So Nimrod and his men were with him and did not know it, because Esau was hidden. Esau was hiding in the bushes, and he was stalking Nimrod. All right, let's go to the next slide.
Jasher 27, verse 7. And Nimrod and 2 of his men that were with him came to the place where they were, when Esau started suddenly from his lurking place, and drew his sword, and hastened and ran to Nimrod, and cut off his head.
So he caught them off guard. These are Nimrod's bodyguards, and they were not paying attention to the surroundings. We can speculate and say they could be doing many things, but they were not paying attention. And Esau came out from his concealment. We see those movies where somebody, remember Arnold with the movie Predator? He's laying in the mud. He's all painted up. You see his eyeballs looking up at you. You're just laughing. And the predators can't see him because of observing his heat, his temperature. Esau has all the tools today. Night vision, heat, thermal, you name it. Tracking devices, eyes in the sky, all types of things so he can try to see. And this is what he was doing here. Came out of his concealment, attacked the 2 bodyguards unaware, took them out, and went and assassinated Nimrod. And Rebbe sent me, let me pull this to the side a minute. This is the crowns that the kings used to wear. Let me pull this up.
You can pull up the Wikipedia link, and that will help Mishpachah to see that. Yeah,
Go ahead and
make it a little bit bigger. If you can, just open it up a little bit more. So, family, what you're looking at is when you look at things historically, as far as crowns are concerned, Nimrod, Esau, some of these men who were mighty hunters, and they were very competitive. It was normal for you to prove that you were leader of your clan, that you had to go out there and fight some wild beast. And normally you had these wild ox and so forth, or antelope that were really big. And when you defeat them, part of the sign that you were, and some of y'all who knows about Native American history would also understand that, clasping the eagle's feathers to make you, to put as a sign that you come of age and you can lead the clan, and your headrests will be filled with all these eagle feathers and stuff, and skins of the animals that you've hunted. So historically speaking, if you scroll down a little bit, Brother Shea, you will see the pictures, that crown there, pre-Islamic. And then the one in the center, go down just a little bit more so we can see what it says as far as the reading. So you can see this is a stele of around the Babylonian area of a leader with a crown of horns on his head. And that's how people showed their power. And eventually, after a while, they just got rid of the crown of the animal, and then they just forged something in gold, right? And so now the crowns that you see of gold has those prongs. That's the evolution of the horns, okay? So that should show you how things transition one from the other. And yeah, it looks like Baphomet, but it's just when you defeat an animal, because they looked at animals as even more powerful than humans, and to kill that beast and bring back the horns was a sign of power. And so you wore your power on your head. This is why when you read the book of Revelations, it says Yeshua is going to be coming back with a crown of many crowns, okay? Because the other kings that he's going to subdue is going to be vassals, and normally you forfeit your crown or your power. Like a soldier would take his sword and offer his sword to the victor, and he will bow before the victor. You are a vassal king. You take your crown off your head, and the king will give you a new crown, which will make you like a governor, a lesser king, a vassal king. So this is the history, and this all ties back into Esau likewise.
Thank you, Rebbe. And you can see horns represent power and prophecy, and they understood this. All right, let's go back over here. So again, Esau has taken the head of Nimrod, and now he's claiming the throne of the world, because at that time Nimrod was the king of the world. Joshua 7:27 and verse 8.
And Esau fought a desperate fight with the two men that were with Nimrod. When they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword.
So Esau is killing off all the bodyguards. Now we're going to continue to see now what happened. And when we get into Genesis, we don't get this history account. All we see is Esau comes in from the field and requests some pottage out of the blue. Okay, now we're going to understand what's happening, his mindset, and why he's doing what he's doing. All right, Joshua 27 and verse 9.
And all the mighty men of Nimrod, who had left him to go to the wilderness, heard the cry at a distance. And they knew the voice of those two men, and they ran to know the cause of it. When they found their king and the two men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness.
And this is a picture of a Hamite nation. This is just an example, Mishpachah. This is not the exact way they may have dressed or looked, but this is a Hamite army. And Nimrod was part of the family of Ham, okay? So this is an illustration that we're putting here. So they heard that their king fell, and they came out and says, we have to avenge the death of our king. Verses 10.
And when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled and thereby escaped.
So he was outnumbered. He says, man, it's like he stirred up a hornet's nest. He went in, tried to steal the honey, stole the comb, and then all the wasps are coming after him now. As they would say, for some reason, the Africanized bees are more dangerous than regular bees.
Yes.
And when you ask them, they tell you, oh, it's because it's black.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land. And he ran and concealed them in his house.
And I talked about this also pertaining to garments having power, also having that power in them, because a spirit is attached to it. This is the book of Joshua chapter 7, so we can get a little understanding on that, verses 24 to verse 31. 24 to 31. Make it as big as I can. Okay.
And the garments of skin which Elohim made for Adam and his wife, when they went out of the garden, were given to Cush.
So the Most High made these garments and gave them to Adam and Eve. These garments, for some reason, ended up in the hand of Cush, one of the sons of Ham. Okay. Verse 25.
For after the death of Adam and his wife, the garments were given to Enoch, the son of Jared. And when Enoch was taken up to Elohim, he gave them to Methuselah, his son.
If you see the trend or how things are playing out, power and the garments kind of go hand in hand. So Enoch is given this garment. I don't know how the garment looked. I don't have a time machine to tell you what color it was, what it was exactly made out of. All we know is that the Most High took skins, made a garment, and gave it to cover Adam and Eve. It was taken away from them later on, passed down to Enoch, to Methuselah, verse 26.
And at the death of Methuselah, Noah took them and brought them to the ark. And they were with him until he went out of the ark.
Okay, 27.
And in their going out, Ham stole those garments.
So we see that Ham stole the garments now. And there's some stuff behind that tells you that the character of some of the sons were not in tune with the spirit of the Most High. Yes, they all knew the law, statutes, and commandments, but they did not want to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. This is why Ham, the family of Ham, wasn't chosen, or the family of Japheth wasn't chosen. But the family of Shem, through Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and we know where the story goes from there. So Ham stole these garments from Noah, his father.
Jasher 7, verse 27. And in their going out, Ham stole those garments from Noah, his father. And he took them and hid them from his brothers.
So you know what he was doing was wrong. 28.
And when Ham begat his firstborn Cush, he gave him the garments in secret. And they were with Cush many days.
So this is how Cush got them. And now Cush is going to pass it on. Let's read verse 29.
And Cush also concealed them from his sons and brothers. And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave him those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up, and when he was 20 years old, he put on those garments. And Nimrod became strong when he put on the garments, and Elohim gave him might and strength. And he was a mighty hunter in the earth. Yea, he was a mighty hunter in the field. And he hunted the animals, and he built altars, and he offered upon them the animals before Yahweh.
Because Nimrod also had the law, statutes, and commandments. And before his heart was turned, he followed. As you can see, the Most High gave him the might and strength because of those garments. This is why today a lot of these nations are looking for the fountain of youth, which ties back all the way to Eden, the cup of life, which they say is the cup that Christ drank from, different tapestries and cloths and things that the apostles and disciples and Moses wore, and all these different men of power wore, that were given to them from the Most High, staves and crowns and whatever it is. They're trying to find relics and apparel which has some spiritual attachment to it, because spirits can attach themselves to certain things, objects. That's where you get the term familiar spirits from. Okay, so this is not science fiction that we would call it today. This is a historical record of why these people are doing these kind of things.
And family, you have to realize and understand that when someone come to you, a pastor or minister or someone telling you that you don't need the 66 books, you only need half of it, which is the New Testament, or you don't need the New Testament, stick with the Old Testament. This is a understanding that you have to see that without this information that we're reading here in the book of Jasher, Jubilees, and the Apocrypha in itself, things are not going to be complete. It's like the clothing without the sword and the sword without the clothing. One cannot be without the other. How can two walk together? And this is the thing that we have to understand and realize, that the Most High is opening up our eyes and a vision to see what is there to see. And mostly everything that's hidden is usually in plain sight.
I'm just going down here to pull something out. Let's read verses 44 down to 40 downwards, and I'll stop you.
And Nimrod dwelt in Shinar, and he reigned securely, and he fought with his enemies, and he subdued them, and he prospered in all his battles, and his kingdom became very great.
So those enemies are his other siblings, cousins, and family members from Ham, and also from Japheth, and some from Shem. And we're going to see that as we go down. Verse 45.
And all nations and tongues heard of his fame, And they gathered themselves to him, and they bowed down to the earth, and they brought him offerings, and he became their Lord and King. And they all dwelt with him in the city of Shinar, and Nimrod reigned in the earth over all the sons of Noah, and they were all under his power and counsel.
He was the mightiest man at that time. What's interesting here, Mishpachah, is they all spoke the same language, but they were all different nations. Now we're going to see verse 46 confirms that.
And all the earth was of one tongue and word of union.
Meaning they came together.
But Nimrod did not go in the ways of Yahweh.
This is where he changes, okay?
And he was more wicked than all the men that were before him from the days of the flood until those days.
That's all we need. You can continue reading the story on your own, of the historical records to see his character. You want us to read verse 47? Okay, go ahead and read verse 47.
And he made gods of wood and stone, which are present today. And he bowed down to them, which are being done today. Nothing's new under the sun. And he rebelled against Yahweh, and taught all his subjects and the people of the earth his wicked ways, as the media does today. And Mardon, his son, was more wicked than his father.
So the generations that come after becomes even more corrupt. This is Joshua 7. And we read from verses 24 downwards all the way to 47. Okay. All right, let's go back over here. So Mishpachah, we see that Nimrod was that man. He had those garments, and now he no longer has that power. He's dead. He was assassinated, and Esau is now in power and has those garments. And the reason why you keep seeing the word concealed, hide the garments, is because those garments have some significance, of importance, of power behind of it. And you just don't leave anything of power lying around.
Concealed.
Okay? It's hidden. They don't want you to know. It's like this. This is why superheroes wear capes and costumes. They have to put on a certain apparel in order to represent that character. They just don't come out and says, Hulk turns green, his pants turn purple for some reason. Because of the gammas, right? According to what they say. Superman puts on a red cape. Batman puts on that mask with the horns. Every character that you see that Esau has created hides behind concealment of a garment that has power in it. Let's continue. Now, let's see who the real thief is. We're going to get into the birthright now. Who's the real thief? That's the question. Joshua 27, 11 and 12.
And Esau took those garments and ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men. And he came unto his father's house, wearied and exhausted from his fight. And he was ready to die through grief when he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him.
This is a lot to unpack here. And Esau took those garments and ran into the city on the account of Nimrod's men. So he's coming out of the hunting, right? He's running back and he is being hunted. So he, like when you watch on TV, the cops chasing these people, and some of them will run back home because they know that's the last chance they can get to see their family.
Yeah.
They'll go visit mama real quick and get a sandwich and a hug from mama. In this case, he ran home and he ran back and he came onto his father's house wearied and exhausted from fighting because he was in a sword fight, slinging, wielding that sword. And he was ready to die because after you come from a battle, it's tough. It's not just like you see, you just there, play fighting. This is real hard activity or a challenge that people go through. It's physical, real hard physicalness that the person has to go through. Fight, okay? It's physical. You have to have stamina. You have to have a lot of different things behind you, strength. So he was ready to die. He's fighting a lot of men. And he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him. So this is where in Genesis now, all we get is Jacob is minding his business at home. Esau runs in and says, feed me with some red pottage.
And this is the rest of the story.
This is all that we got. Let's do why now. Verse 12.
And he said unto his brother Jacob, behold, I shall die this day. And wherefore then do I want this or the birthright?
Because now he understood. See, Esau wasn't stupid. He knew he was the one that is in line to receive all of his father's heritage, but he didn't care about it. And he said to himself, I'm about to die. I don't really care about this, so I have to pass this on. I'm going to give this to you because I'm about to die. I'm being hunted by a lot of Nimrod's men because I took out Nimrod. I stole these garments from him, and they know that. Trust me, they know what Nimrod had. Mm-hmm. So now he's being hunted by these men. He came home. He didn't care about the birthright. He says, behold, I shall die this day. And wherefore then do I want this birthright? Why do I need this birthright? Continue.
And Jacob acted wisely with Esau in this matter.
Jacob was like, okay, I understand what this birthright means. Because I've been the one studying the Torah. I've been the one learning the law, statutes, and commandments. I've been the one that was instructed by Grandpa Abraham, because he's been teaching me too. Continue.
And Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, for it was so brought about by Yua.
See, that's the key, Mishpachah. Every time we sit back, a lot of us, because of Christianity and of the rest of the world, we believe it's something that we are personally doing, but never realizing that it was brought on by the Most High himself. Most High is behind the scenes, moving the pieces around the board. It's his will. People will say, oh, Esau got cheated out of his birthright. Jacob stole it. What did we just read here? Was it stolen or was it sold?
Sold.
Go ahead, Elder.
Shalom, family. What we have to realize there and see for ourselves, the whole Torah was not given to Esau. It was given to Jacob. So whatever that is written was written to the house of Israel, which Jacob is the father of all the 12 tribes, children of Israel. So Torah was given to Israel, not to Esau. Esau have nothing to do with that. Esau was given gifts and sent away. But the Torah, the commandments, everything was given to the particular nation of the house of Israel. Hallelujah.
That's a very good point, Elder. With that blessing, Mishpachah, was the law, statutes, and commandments also included in that?
For an example, we live in a world of checks and balances. And in a sense of things that we may not understand, we neglect. There's a saying, you don't miss the water until the well runs dry, or you don't miss something until it's not there. We have examples of many artists, many famous people that at the end or coming close to the end of their journey, they realize, man, I give up my soul for this riches and for all this, and I can't even get it back. I realized that I made a big mistake. And they try to grasp at straws to get back that very soul that they sold for the rich and the fame that is presented. I don't need this. I mean, this is not, what am I going to do with this? It's just a thought that there is a soul present, but in reality, that soul is very, very important. And you hear it from a lot of artists if you really go and do the research. But this battle and this war and this fight is not for the weak at heart, and it's not for those that are not interested. This is a battle that it takes not only perseverance, but it takes energy, it takes strength, and we have to prepare for it. We have, brethren, we have been talking about the situation about living a shalom lifestyle. there are many, many things that are, if your eyes are open, you can see that is present today on what's going on. And not to vary away from the subject here, but the Book of Eli, one of the movies that's out there, will show you that even the Bible itself is very, very important, just as much as those garments that was taken while Nimrod was slaughtered to get them from. Esau knew the value of it, and Esau knows the value of everything that's out here today. Be blessed.
Mishpachah, everything is written for our learning so we can know what is to come. Let's continue. Joshua 27, 13 and verse 14.
Jacob wrote the whole of this.
Verse 13.
13, he said. And Esau's portion in the cave of the field of Mishpah, which Abraham had brought from the children of Heth, from the possession of a burial ground, Esau also sold to Jacob, and Jacob bought all his from his brother Esau for value given.
So Esau, because of desperation in his mind, and Brother Barnes, you mentioned a good point where the Most High exposed his unworthiness. You know, sometimes when like the Messiah gives the talents, and some people just take the money and they don't care about it. It's the same mentality, the same way, Mishpachah. Esau did not care about these things. So including in the birthright, but the birthright is just not birthright. It unpacks a long list of things that the father passes on. It includes land, titles, money, power, it may be material things, business, animals. The list is long. In this case, we see the field of Machpelah, which Abraham had bought from the children of Heth, right, as a burial ground. He sold that too. That was also included. Verses 14.
And Jacob wrote the whole of this in a book, and he testified the same with witnesses, and he sealed it. And the book remained in the hands of Jacob.
So, according to the record we have here, Jacob was wise. He recorded this stuff. So, when the time comes, there is no discrepancy of what's what. And because the spirit of Esau is a sly, cunning, we saw all of the characteristics that he portrayed. Whereas Jacob was upfront. He will tell you, this is what is written, this is what we have to do. Esau will try to go around that and counter it in every way. So he's recording these things in a book. Where that book is today, Mishpachah, Brother O'Shea doesn't know. He doesn't have the time machine. But if it's recorded, that means it is there. Okay, the Most High has concealed, or I should say he has put things hidden above our pay grade for a time. Whenever it's his will for them to be revealed, it will be revealed. It's not up for us to go research and trying to find these things because we weren't instructed to find these things, okay? Ecclesiasticus 12 and verse 10.
Never trust thine enemy, or like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
And like I mentioned earlier, iron rusteth, rust turns the iron rotten, and rust is a reddish hue color, which is tied to the enemy. And we see Esau is very cunning. So Jacob had to write these things down as a source of evidence against him, because he knows later on Esau is going to come back and says, I never give you that birthright. You lied to me. Think about that, Mishpachah. That's exactly what he would have done. All right, Genesis is the account of Genesis now. Genesis 25 and verse 29.
And Jacob sawed pottage.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Go ahead, Rebbe. You want to say something?
Yes, shalom, family. There are some prominent Hebrew groups that believe Esau is the reincarnation of Cain. I don't know if you all believe that. If you do, you could put a 1 in the chat. And I'm addressing this because as many of us venture off and we eat in different pastures every once in a while, you're going to come across groups that believe that Cain is alive in Esau today, and you're going to hear all this legendary stuff. And some of these groups do not believe in reading the book of Joshua at all and such like, but for some reason they have a time machine that can show the transition of Esau or transition of Cain into Esau's body. If that be the case, with reincarnation or anything like that, the history and all of the other events. And O'Shea, can you pull up Romans 9? I want to go to verses 10 and 11. Because, family, if that be true, then how many times can a person be reincarnated? Because some of these groups, they teach reincarnation so strong that they themselves believe that they are the King David reincarnated and all kinds of stuff. So it says in Kifa, if you can read for me, please, Romans 9, verses 10 and 11.
And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Elohim, according to election, might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth.
You see that part right there, and thank you, Kifa, where it says, neither having done any good or evil. If I lived a previous life, I have lived my life, whether it's good or evil, that spirit that was in that body, if reincarnation is a real thing, that spirit now is in another person. Let's say it goes into O'Shea. So what how do you explain that? So O'Shea's going to have to account for his past, for a past life of something he had nothing to do with, no control over, a life someone else lived in wickedness. And now O'Shea has that in his body. I guess he's going to have to give an account for both the life of some person before and also the life that he's now living. Brethren, this stuff makes no sense. The Bible says, according that the purpose of Elohim, according to election, might stand, not of works, right? Not of something that was done beforehand, right? Because if they're saying that Cain is reincarnated into Esau, that's why Esau is wicked, that means that there's works that was passed on to the next. It's not even about the Most High just designating Esau to be a vessel of dishonor. So does that make any sense at all? I mean, I can elaborate on that. I just don't want to take up a whole lot of time. So, excuse me, when you hear all this stuff, you have to wonder what soup they're drinking from, what wine, what time machine. It's really crazy, and it goes on. I just leave it at that. So, brethren, just be careful, all right? Careful with some of the doctrines that these brothers put out, okay? They would read the Bible where it says how things are supposed to be, and they will throw that in the garbage, and they'll create these legendary stuff that is not even in the Bible.
Yep. Brother Jerry Blackwell, that's a very good question. Why would Elohim have to reincarnate people? What's the purpose of that? Let me put it this way before we move on. If we haven't read about it in the Word, then it's not for us to go digging and looking for, okay? In other words, let's not add or take away from the Word. Let's go with what the Word has put out, word for word. The enemy is going to always add, and he's going to always take away. That's his job. He's the enemy. Don't fall for the hokey dokey stuff, Mishpachah. Now look at this picture over here. Beautiful meal. Kiefer, you can make something like that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Jacob made it, right? That's
easy.
Beautiful. That must have tasted really good. Jake is the one cooking this stuff now. All the spices and herbs, get some fresh lamb or venison, whichever one it is. And he's making with some red lentils, this beautiful pottage. All right, verse 29 of Genesis 25.
And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
So Jacob is there cooking up this beautiful stew, and Esau smelt it. Boy, that smells good. Comes in, and now what happened? Verse 30.
And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
That is interesting. It highlights red pottage. This is why his name is called Edom. Red pottage, Mishpachah, it's written right there. Esau said unto Jacob, Feed me. I'm hungry. I've been out there battling, killing folks, stealing things, titles, items, and I'm about to die. I'm hungry. I don't want to go out on an empty stomach. Give me my last meal. I want the steak, the potatoes, I want it all. But in this case, Jacob's making that delicious pottage. But why is it saying the same red pottage? Why could it just say, give me some food, give me some pottage? Red pottage, for I am faint, therefore was his name called Edom. Verse 31.
And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright.
So see, Jacob says, when we go back over here, it says Jacob was wise. Back up to this one here. Jacob acted wisely with Esau in this matter. And Jacob said, Sell me your birthright. So Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. This was brought on because the Most High wanted it to happen this way. This is all information we have. So we go back to Joshua, we fill in the blanks. So people, Mishpachah, have been saying this. Why is Jacob known as the deceiver? Is Jacob a deceiver?
No.
Would y'all say Jacob is a deceiver, Mishpachah?
Did not deceive him.
Brother Barnes said a supplanter. That's correct.
Actually,
a deceiver. Go ahead, Rebbe.
Actually, as far as even the part where the blessing came to Jacob, that was his mother's doing. That had nothing to do with Jacob. He didn't plan that thing. You might as well say that Rebecca is the deceiver, right? But no one says that. They always drop that on Jacob's lap.
But remember last week also, within actions that she did, whether you want to call it deception, she was instructed to do that. Remember, Abraham told her, because he foresee all of what was going to happen, he told her, I want you to take care of Jacob. This is what you need to do. Make sure he gets the blessing. So she was being obedient to the word of her patriarch, which the Most High was the one behind the scenes, making him tell her that, allowing her to be the one to do those things. So can we say it's being deceivable or being deception?
No.
Read that for me, Keith. For many people
consider Jacob an arch deceiver who stole his brother Esau's birthright, then cheated him out of his rightful blessing. Certainly, Jacob was not perfect. He was a flawed sinner.
That's what they say. He was a flawed sinner.
Yeah.
So Jacob was in the tents just sinning.
Yeah.
Do we see that, Mishpachah? Do we read anywhere where he was a flawed sinner? We don't have a time machine to know if he was out robbing and thieving or anything. What was recorded was he was keeping the Torah. He was learning. He was reading and writing. He was being obedient to his parents. He was being instructed. That's what we have. So where did they get this that he was a flawed sinner? Yeah. That's them adding to the word. Okay, continue.
Like all of us, and like everyone in the Messianic line.
See, they get the point where they take the verse where it says all have sinned.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that really mean when it says all have sinned? It has nothing to do with this part right here, Mishpachah. That's something totally different. Let's look at Jubilees 26 and verse 30. Jubilees 26 and verses 30.
From the accounts of what we read, I can't understand why the word deception came in play, because he was cooking. It wasn't like he pre-planned or knew from what I read, what I've read, and what I've understood, that Esau was going to come and ask him for any food. He was cooking for himself. Esau showed up hungry, and he fed him. He only say, well, with just weights and measures, I'll give you this, you give me that. And he accepted those with wholeheartedly not caring for anything that Elohim or his father instructed him. He only wanted to do what he wanted to do. And that's what I gathered. But 2018, 2019, 2030 organizations or Catholics or Jehovah Wickedness or whatever would tell you something different, because they're trying to find a way for Esau to enter, but there's no way.
You see, Kifo, deception only happens with dishonesty. And Esau was the one being dishonest. This is why he would say those words, oh, he deceived me. But deception only happens in disobedience and dishonesty. Where did Jacob disobey? We don't see it. Where was he dishonest? We don't see it. So deception never happened by Jacob's standard. It was an even, you give me this, I give you that, because he saw what was happening. And the Most High is the one behind all of this, that exchange. So Jacob wasn't a deceiver, and he never deceived his brother.
I could see Jacob told him, well, you know, this is a lamb chop that I'm cooking here with some lentil peas or some split peas or whatever. And then Esau bite into it, and it was a tofu lamb. Tofu, that in itself is deception, but I can't see it being deception.
But that's a slander that happens with the enemy. They like to slander your good name because they're trying to get a one-up on you. All right, let's look at, go ahead, Ella.
Yes, thank you, Brother O'Shea. You know, when you look at, the Lord said, do not add, don't take away, leave my words, because he is the one who make it. He write it there. But Christianity always adding and taking away, and always find stories to entertain people. But the scripture is to leave it as Elohim has put it, had placed it. So that's all about it. Don't change it. Don't take away from it. Just leave it alone. All praises.
That's right. All right, let's look at Joshua 26 and verses 30. Let's get the account on that now.
And he said unto him, thy brother came with guile, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, now I know why his name is named Jacob. Behold, he had supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now he hath taken away my blessing.
Did we see Jacob working in guile? What does the word guile mean? Anybody in the chat? Deception, right? Jacob did not work in deception. It was an even exchange. Look, man, you say you want this? I'm making this delicious meal. All right, what you got that I can have? And that was it. That was the end of the story. But again, he tried to slander his good name. This is what the world is putting out. Okay. Let's look at Genesis 25 and 34.
Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
See, so the information that we have, Esau despised. He didn't want it. What does the word despise mean? Read that down there for me.
Despise is a past tense form of an objective meaning, hated, detested, or viewed with deep contempt and disdain.
So he hated, he detested his birthright. He viewed it with deep contempt, meaning he didn't want it. He didn't care about it. So it had no value to him. Therefore, he says, you can have the birthright. But after he sat down and he went over his life, I guess his life flashed before him after. He says, wait a minute. The birthright was linked to my blessing. Oh, man, I need to get that back. Go ahead, Emma.
Shalom,
Shalom.
brethren. If you look at it on Esau's direction, Esau know that he has to wait till his father died to get all the blessing and everything.
Yep.
And then the blessings come before he died, because he knew he was going to die.
That's what he thought.
But the other half was to get all the rest of riches and everything.
Yep.
So and he looked at that and he said, why should I wait so long? Another thing is that he felt like the people that was chasing him would find him and kill him right away.
Yes, yes.
So that's two things we have to look at. That's why he tried to get rid of the birthright and said, make no sense to have it.
That's right. Thank you, Ima. Now, Mishpachah, can one of y'all find for me? It is in the book of Jasher. I didn't put it here, but it came to my mind. I want to mention it, where Esau is doing a transaction. I don't want to use the word deal. A transaction with Jacob, and Ishmael is present, and some land and some stuff is being bartered back into the equation. And Esau mentions, I'm just paraphrasing, don't trust Jacob because he steals stuff. Do y'all remember where that's found in Jasher? When y'all find it, just put it in the chat. I'll bring it up then. Because it's important. When certain things come up, we have to make the connections, okay? To see the characteristics of what we're dealing with. This is nothing new. Hebrews 12:16.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Even in the other witness of Hebrew, the book of Hebrews, we see that it is mentioned that Esau sold his birthright. So where is the stealing happening? Who's stealing what? The evidence is there, Mishpachah. Esau never got his birthright stolen. He sold his birthright. Jacob never stole anything. He bartered it.
Morsel of meat.
Now let's look at a video of Esau complaining about his birthright. Let's look at this. This is very interesting. If I can pull it down here. Okay, here we go. Fair use, fair use.
Hello, everyone, and hello, God. This is Daniel Mayo. Hello, Jesus. This is Daniel Mayo. I have an announcement to make that I should have been doing all this time, but I didn't know that I had to do it. So basically, here it goes. Jesus, I want my birthright back because I'm a descendant of Esau. I am a descendant of Edomites that rejected their birthright. So I will do anything that you want me to do, that you demand me to do, to get my birthright back. All right, Jesus? All right. And this is a short video, okay? I'll be done now, okay? Bye.
He is. That's an earnest request to Caesar Borgia, which will probably get him some direction of where he wants to go, which is right with where Caesar Borgia is going. I don't think the Most High will care about that, but it brings me to another understanding that I've heard, and I've known someone to have done this, to be in disdain or detest their own parent, because they were like, I wish I wasn't born in this family because I'm poor, or I don't have this, or why do I have to be in this condition? But the Most High knows why we are where we are and why we are in this position that we are in. And the most valuable thing, and most people may think, well, it's gold, or it's fame, it's fortune, it's money, it's food. The most valuable thing anybody could give you in this world is their time. Their time. It takes a mother time to keep and build that child in their womb. The mother is at the brink of death, bringing birth into the world. And a lot of people disrespect their own mother by saying the most hurtful thing, that I don't know why you're my mother. I wish this person or Esau was my mother, or I was born into a family of fame and all this other nonsense. But they don't realize that there's a price to everything.
Rebbe, wants to say something before I'll play it again. Brother Eric asked to play it again.
Yeah, I just want you to play it again. That's that's crazy.
And who knows? He may be slow, meaning has a learning disability, but that doesn't matter in this fact. He knows what he's saying. And he's speaking from his heart here. And so let's listen again.
I want my birthright back because I'm a descendant of Esau. I am a descendant of Edomites that rejected their birthright. So I will do anything that you want me to do, that you demand me to do, to get my birthright back. All right, Jesus? All right. And this is a short video, okay? I'll be done now, okay? Bye.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like you said, he may have some type of impairment, disability or something, but for him to even come to that conclusion, he had to spend some time reading and studying. You don't just wake up one day with a handicap and say, "I want my birthright."
Well, I'm reading Sister Yasha. She says he's not slow, he's panicking.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, regardless of what it is, like you said, Rebbe, the truth is going to come out. And regardless of that, if he's slow or not, you cannot hide the truth. And this is an example that we see here. So now we're going to go into the lineage of Esau. We're going to see how and where and who he is today. Okay, how it all plays in. We're going to look at the history records, from the records that we have from the biblical point into what we find through the records of, what the world puts out there and what the prophets say also. Genesis 36 verses 1.
Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
So again, we're showing that Esau is Edom. Okay, continue.
Thus dwelt Esau in the Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
So Mount Seir is where he dwelt. Now, when we go forward, we're going to see that there were people that were living in Mount Seir at that time. We're going to highlight who those people are and how Esau overtook those people and they became one people also. Okay, continue, verse 9.
And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
To the right over here, you see his 3 wives that was recorded. Does anyone tell me now if Brother O'Shea is wrong? Did he have more wives than this that's recorded? Did I miss any of the names? This is what I found. First wife is Adah. Her son was Eliphaz. Okay. Second wife was Aholibama. Sound like Alabama. Aholibama. Her 3 sons was Jeush, Jalam, and Korah.
All was dukes.
And then his next wife was Bashemath. And her son was Reuel, or his son was Reuel. These are the sons. You have Eliphaz, Jeush, Jalam, Korah, and Reuel. Okay, let's continue. We see Esau, firstborn Eliphaz, he had sons. These are the names. And the word duke just simply means a lord of a clan, a leader of a clan, a judge of a clan. Is just the title that they took on. Just like we took on the word tribe, they took on the word duke. Ishmael took on the term prince, okay, and so forth. And it's just a distinction of the location where you live and the hierarchy of order of what you would call yourselves. So Esau, in a sense, called his children dukes. Duke Teman, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Gatam, Amalek. Over here, you have the dukes, which is Jeush, Jalam, and Korah, which was his sons. They didn't really go into detail on their sons, but we're going to touch on that also. And then Reuel, Duke Neath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. And this is all found in Genesis 36, verse 10 to verse 19. Now look on the screen, you see coat of arms. What's interesting is Majority of the coats of arms have three things in common. It has a man, a wood wooser with a club. There's either a lion or a dragon, and then there's some sort of bird, whether it's an eagle, vulture, what's the one that disappears and comes back in fire? Phoenix, hawks, falcons, all of these birds of prey, okay? They have these three things in common. And then you'll see swords and flags and castles and crowns on it with feathers. So they varied it according to their families right here, lineage all the way down. We're going to get into it to see how it all ties in, okay? Without receiving the credit, because if you Google today Dukes of Edom, the word will come up Dukedoms. So the word derives from Dukes of Edom, but they won't credit that. They would say the word Dukes just recently came about here. But we know the Bible was written long before this. So what are they trying to say, Mishpachah? What are they trying to say? Go ahead and read that definition for Duke for me.
Duke, noun, early 12th century, a sovereign prince from Old French duc, 12th century, and directly from Latin dux, genitive dixis, leaders, commanders, in late Latin, governor of a province, from ducers to lead.
Okay, jump down here.
Applied in English to hereditary noblemen of the highest rank, probably first mid-14th century, Aus native earl.
Okay, so you have heredity, which is passed down to the highest rank, native earl. Earl is also another term, various European titles, ranking below a prince. So right below a prince are dukes and earls. Mm-hmm. All right, and these are all terms that's used in the place of Europe.
Now that was in 14th century. We're in 2026, and we still have dukes and earls and noblemen's in the English monarchy today, which people are, that was in the past, but the past is in the present. And yet they're going to tell you, forget about it. That happened during slavery. Just forget about it. That's not important. Mm-hmm. But what's important to them is important to them, not important as far as it comes to us.
That's right. Rebbe, you want to talk on this here? You want to say something on this?
Yeah, you mentioned about the earls being a duke. That's just different terms for the same thing. And this picture here is showing a coat of arms for an earl. And you can see the picture. If you can blow it up a little bit more, just go to the picture itself. And you can see who's depicted here with this earl crescent. You got two cave wood wooses, cavemen with clubs, right? And that goes right back to Esau, right? The wild man.
And you can see the clubs are spiked. You got the crown that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
There goes the beast with the little Greek
and
around him.
And Brother O'Shea, real quick, we don't have any historical records of lions being in England or even in Europe, to my knowledge. So the only one who have a background of being or coming from a place where there were lions is Esau. If your lineage came from the Middle East where lions ruled in Rome, and you migrated into Southern Europe and set yourself up as a king, you're going to put all them different historical pieces onto your family tree, your family crescent, and then the evolution of things is going to be, okay, my family crescent, I'm going to have all these lions and stuff. But there's it's not even a saber-toothed tiger or something. You know what I mean? Something prehistoric. It's a lion that they have. And there's no lions over there. It makes no sense.
That's true. I remember you always mention that. Well, yeah, of course they have it now, Ema, in the zoos. Let me look at something here. I think let me see if this is the one here. This is Joshua. Let's Go to the book of Joshua. Where's that at? Joshua 27, someone said. 27. Let's see if this is the one I wanted here. No, not this one here. Not this part here. There's in the book of Joshua. This is later on. This is when Abraham with Esau and Jacob and Ishmael, and they were talking about, I guess, getting some land or something. I can't remember off the top of my head correctly. Some land. They was talking about land and some blessings and getting some other things. And Jacob was trying to say, okay, you can take this. I'll take the land and you take all the materials, all the clothes and whatever it is. And Esau's like, no, don't trust him. He was talking to Ishmael. Don't trust him. He's a deceiver, blah, 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 blah. If y'all can find that for me, let me know. It's in the book of Joshua. So when you find this, let me know. I'll go back to that point. I just want to highlight how Esau was thinking. Okay.
Real quick, Brother Shay.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if you got the link I sent. Let me try again. Okay, here you go. Pull this up. It's the same rendering of the one that you showed before, the coat of arms. That the one that was shown before says Earl. This one says Duke. But I want to make a point, a very important point here for the Mishpachah to see. Okay. Notice it says coat of arms. Okay, let me try something else. Let me do something else here, because if you're having problems that way, give me one second.
While you pull that up, let me look at, you said Joshua 47, verse 20. Let's see if that's it right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is it here. Yes, this is it here. So when you read chapter 47, you can start from like verses, you don't have to read Kepha. Y'all can start from verses 17. Actually, from verses 15, it talks about when they was trying to, divvy out possessions, cattle, materials, clothing, land, different things like that. Verse 20 says, read verse 20 for me.
And Naboth, the son of Ishmael, was then in the land with his children, and Esau went on that day and consulted with him, saying, Thus has Jacob spoken unto me, and thus has he answered me. Now give thy advice, and we will hear. And Naboth said, What is this that Jacob hath spoken unto thee? Behold, all the children of Canaan are dwelling securely in their land, and Jacob saith, He will inherit it with his seed all the days.
Okay, pause a minute. Remember, Abraham is given all this land. So Jacob is just relaying what he was told, what he's promised. So he's telling that here to Ishmael's children, right? Not knowing that the Most High is not going to allow that to happen. So this is why it happened this way. Continue.
Go now therefore and take all thy father's riches and leave Jacob thy brother in the land, as he has spoken. And Esau rose up and returned to Jacob, and did all that Naboth the son of Ishmael had advised. And Esau took all the riches that Isaac had left, the souls, the beasts, the cattle, and the property. And all the riches he gave nothing to his brother Jacob.
See, and finish read that.
And Jacob took all the land of Canaan from the brook of Egypt unto the river Euphrates, and he took it for an everlasting possession, and for his children, and for his seed after him forever.
With that spirit, Esau's only thinking in the now. Take all the riches and the possessions. Forget about that land. I don't have to deal with fighting people off to get land. But not realizing the Most High was not going to allow the land to be given back, because that was part of the blessing to receive all of this property. When Abraham looked up and he saw that. So I'm only bringing this out to show you that even in doing business with Esau, he's trying to go behind you and shortcut you in the making of trades and deals and different things like that. All right, Reb, you send that picture?
And with this thing, we're reading something in the book of Jasher that took place many, many years ago. Don't be fooled to think that this doesn't exist today. They are lords and dukes that's present today. I mean, Candace Owens, her husband, is a lord, considered a lord. The ninth Duke of Wellington still exists today. I mean, don't be confused with the fact that, this is a past or that's the Bible or whatever, These things and these titles still do exist, but on a very low level where it's not to the small-minded thinking people that they consider us to be today.
Yeah. Thank you all for putting that verse in the chat for me, for helping me find that.
Amen.
So, looking at this picture, which is a replica of what you showed before, I want you to go at the bottom and make it just a little bit bigger, because there's some words that I want us to see, and the significance is important to what you're discussing today. If you notice at the bottom of the screen, at the bottom of no, don't flip it.
I know, I'm trying to open it. It's just flip it.
Yeah. Notice there's some Latin right on the right side. Et opera. That's not English. That's Latin. Latin comes from where? Rome. So why are these people putting Latin on their things? And when you look up the history of lions, they said that lions were imported into England by the Romans for games, gladiator games, and that was it. So they don't have a history, and it was imported from North Africa, where the Romans had ruled for a period of time. So they don't have any history of lions up in there, right? But they have a history of Romans being up in there. That's the whole Roman lineage. That's Esau.
That's right.
Yeah, and also the red is also a distinctive symbolism of the House of Rothschild, or the red shield.
You say most animals are what? Right. Brother Barry, that's funny. So does Ethiopians, the term ras means duke in this sense, or equal duke? Well, I guess you could say that. That's the term that they want to use, ras.
I think it means prince.
Yeah, it means prince, but in the same sense, I guess that's what they're trying to say. All right, let's continue. So we see the history of the word duke there. Seir, the Horite. So now you see where the word Horite comes from, and you see the lineage here: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishan, Izar, Dishan. Excuse me. This is the people that were there before Esau got there, and he took over these nations. Let's get some evidence on that. Let's look at Jasher 84. Jasher 84 and verses 5. Let's read that first, and then we'll go to Genesis 39 after. Go ahead and read that one. Verse 5, yes.
Therefore did the children of Esau fight against the children of Seir in former times. And Uah had delivered the children of Seir into the hands of the children of Esau, and destroyed them from before them. And the children of Esau dwelt in their stead unto this day.
See, Mishpachah, Esau dwelt in their stead. So the children of Seir, there were people living there before Esau got there, and Esau took over these people. So when you see this part right here, Seir, the Horite, later on they were taken over by Edomites, and now they're part of the Edomite family. Let's look at Genesis, what's that, 39, 19 to 30. Genesis 39, 19 to 30. How are we doing so far, Mishpachah?
Very good. Very good.
All praises 39. When it says 19 to 30. Okay. Go ahead and read that.
And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife.
Wait, hold on. This is correcting 39. Not Genesis 39. Oh, 36. Sorry. Genesis 36. I'm sorry. Genesis 36, 19 downwards.
These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir the Horite, who inhabited the land Lotan and Shobal and Zebon and Anah, and Dishon and Izar and Dishan. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Lotan were Hor and Hemam, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. And the children.
Let's see how far we're going to. 30, okay.
And the children of Shobal were these: Alban and Mathath, and Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Ahana. This was that Ahana was found the mules in the wilderness, and he fed the asses of Zebon his father.
Now, everything that we're reading here, it has importance to the historical records. This, what we're reading here, is going to tie to something else that we're going to talk about in the future, okay? Verse 25.
And the children of Anan were these: Dishon and...
You know what? Just jump down to verses 30.
Duke Dishon, Duke Izer, Duke Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Hori among the dukes in the land of Seir.
So I just wanted to show you, when we're reading about these sons, these are not direct seed from Esau, but Esau later on took them over, and his children mixed and mingled with them. Okay, so that's important to know for when we go in the future. All right, Genesis 36 and verse 40. Let's look at the names now. We're going to get into it to see who it is today. Verses 40.
And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau according to their families, after their places by their names.
And you see the names right here. Duke Timnah, Duke Alva, Duke Jetheth, Duke Aholibamah, Duke Elah, Pinon, Kenza, Teman, Mibzar, Magdil, Iram. Genesis 36, verse 43, the last part.
These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possessions. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites.
So we see, Mishpachah, it's telling us that Esau is the father of these people right here. All right, let's continue. And look at the symbol right here. This is some of their symbology of where the families come from. Now we're going to transition into a different section to see how it all ties back together. You send it to me and pull this up. All right, before we go there, Kiefer wanted me to pull something up. Let me pull this up. I hate when I do that. Hold on. Close that out. Okay, here we go. See the image of it? That's the one there.
Mm-hmm. See the difference? The same shield, you see the same things. You see the same arrows that's on your money and all that stuff. The same red as far as with all that. This is the house of Rothschild, basically. The red shield, basically. That's
all the families connect. Got the stars, got the phoenix bird.
It's the same horns you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Crowns and horns, lion, Yeah, the arrows that Keith is mentioning, and a lot of Latin is written in here. So it just shows you the connection, Mishpachah. Okay, let's go back over here. All right, Genesis 9 and verse 1.
And Elohim blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth.
Now, me and Brother Mike had an interesting conversation earlier about Noah that I'm going to bring out in a separate class later. That's going to be something very interesting to learn about. It's everything is written, and I just enjoy reading and studying. That's one thing that I can say. But to tie in Noah's record with Esau's record, we're going to see how it all plays in. So Noah was called upon because at his time, the earth was in pure wickedness. A lot of the demonic forces, fallen angels mixing with mankind, bringing forth all types of creatures, revealing all types of secrets. The earth was corrupted, and Noah was chosen and selected to reset everything. The flood came about to wash away and wipe away all of those wicked things, okay? But the saga continued, and here we're going to see how some of those evil spirits continued to live on in some of the sons of Noah. So Noah was instructed to be fruitful and multiply and to replenish the earth, because he didn't even want to do that. He was like, what's the point? Like today, I was reading that some time back, and I was saying to myself, what's the sense of bringing forth children when I'm have to worry about the wrong things, in the sense of protecting them? We don't know how the future is going to hold, where the school systems, if we have to be running and being in exile, having to protect them, a whole lot of things come flash in your mind when you think about protecting your family. Mm-hmm. But the Most High is the one in charge, and he's the one saying, I want you to do this. I will take care of the rest. So Brother O'Shea just said, you know what? Thank you for reminding me of that. I'm going to be fruitful, and I'm going to make sure I do my part to multiply. And that's what we're supposed to do, not worry about it. So Noah was also instructed, because he was worrying about the same thing. And the Most High says, go ahead and multiply. Therefore, Shem, Ham, and Japheth is here presented to him. Verse 19.
These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread.
So the whole earth was repopulated by three individuals. See, a lot of times people forget. They will run back to always the Genesis story with Adam, with the Garden of Eden, with Eve and Adam. And they would talk about Cain and other people being there and all kinds of crazy stuff. Again, if you're going to say that, then you're saying that the Most High is powerless. If the Most High can create the entire universe out of nothing, why can't he populate the earth out of Adam and Eve? Why does it have to be other people there? What sense does that make? Is it recorded? No. We see Noah is repopulating the earth with three sons. That should have y'all having the proper understanding. Stop going out there and trying to add stuff into it where it's not. Cain did not go out and find other people. It's recorded in the book of Joshua and Jubilees with him within his own family repopulating or bringing forth children and creating his own city called the Land of Nod. So here we see now, fast forward in the new earth, which is the second earth, I call it. Noah is bringing forth three sons, which populated the whole earth. Let's look at the Jubilees account. Jubilees 8 and 8.
And in the 6th year, 1567 AM.
Okay, pause there a minute. For those of you who don't know what AM means, in the years, AM stands for Anno Mundi. Latin. Here we go again with Latin. Phrase which means in the year of the world, meaning when the world was created. AM, that's why we have AM and PM. Morning and evening. Year AM1 is a starting point of time, marking when Elohim created the world according to scriptural history. So this is what we have to go by, scriptural history, and not what the other nations are putting out to distort or to disprove the existence of our Creator. So in the year 1567 AM, continue.
Thereof she bare him a son, and he called his name Peleg. For in the days when he was born, the children of Noah began to divide the earth amongst themselves. For this reason, he called his name Peleg.
And if you remember, I told you when people are naming their children, there is a reason and a meaning behind of it. It's just not just because it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
So the children of Noah began to divide the earth amongst themselves. So this is where the division started to happen. And if you look at this picture, Eurasia, North America, South America, Africa, India, Antarctica, Australia. This is what you'll call in before the flood, Earth was in one mass, one land mass. Science calls it pan something. I forget what it's called. But one land mass, and in the center of that, you will see where the land of Israel is. Okay? Yes, thank you all. Pangaea. All right, Jubilees, you want to say something, Ima? Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Let me go back.
Shalom again, brethren. As we are thinking and going back to the flood that was covered the whole earth, then we have to look at it and say that the Garden of Eden was also covered then, and no more Garden of Eden. Now, thinking about that, so then they'll have to, the Garden of Eden will not be there because of the flood that was covered the whole earth, according to B. And we are thinking that. So then the new earth will then have to start with Noah and his family.
Yes, the flood covered everything, separated all of the lands, because when the Most High divided the lands, they went to their locations. Now he even made it more harder by spreading the lands apart. Thank you, Sister Marvis. Pangaea, how it's pronounced. All right, let's go forward. Jubilees chapter 8 and verse 10.
And it came to pass in the beginning of the 33rd Jubilee, 1569 AM, that they divided the earth into three parts for Shem, Ham, and Japheth, according to the inheritance of each. In the first year, in the first week, when one of us who had been sent was with them.
There's always a witness that can account to things that are happening. So right here is an illustration. It may not be the exact deviation of it, Mishpachah, but this is an illustration of the division of Japheth, Shem, and Ham, how it was divided. Japheth had the northern part, Shem was in the middle, and Ham had the lower part. Let's continue to see that. This is verses 12 of Jubilees 8.
And they came forth under writing as Shem's lot.
So now we're going to talk about Shem's portion.
The middle of the earth, which he should take as an inheritance for himself and for his sons and for the generations of eternity.
So this is considered the best part of the worlds. Why? Because it covers cold, hot, and warm. It gives you a taste of all four seasons equally. When you're in the north, you have less sunlight, you have more cold, more frigid. I don't have to show examples. We all have seen those where the sun sets faster, I believe, and it's less sunlight. It's more longer days of darkness, lesser days of light. All those cold places, and then down in Antarctica area too, down at the bottom is the same thing too with that. And then in the lower part where it's hot, super hot, always hot. But the most part, Most High gave us the middle of the earth. Continue from
the middle of the mountain range of Rapha, from the mouth of the water from the river Tina, and his portion goes towards the west through the midst of this river.
Now pause a minute. When you do the research, which I encourage you all to do, this lines up with the same area that the Most High told Abraham about. from this river to this river, from this location to that location. The names of these places may have been slightly changed or edited because of the conquering of the Esau or Edomite nations. But when you dig deeper, you will find the connections and those names still existing amongst the people, the local people there. Okay, continue.
And it extends till it reaches the water of the abyss, out of which this river goes forth and pours its waters into the sea, Meat. And this river flows into the great sea. And all that is towards the north is Japheth's, and all that is towards the south belongs to Shem.
So the south of Japheth is Shem, and then the south of Shem is Ham. We're going to see that. But I just want to also include the names of these here, like Meat, Rapha, Tina. These are Hebrew words. When you look at the meanings of them, it'll tell you why it's called that. Then you can see the connection from those names to the current names today. Because sometimes you look for a particular name and they change the name of this river, again, because of war and governments change hands. But when you look at the meaning of that, it tells you the history behind that and what the name was before, okay? Lands divided. Let's look at the lands divided. Jubilees 8:12 to 21. This is where this comes from. It highlights what was not only given to Shem, but what was blessed and honored by Noah and uplifted towards the future of Israel, which is Elohim's chosen. So when we read Jubilees 8, chapter 8, 12 to 21, Noah was pleased. He was like, perfect. I like that you guys selected these accordingly, but not realizing that Most High is behind all of this again and putting this upon their hearts to divide it this way. Because when he told Abraham what was to befall the nations in the future, this was included. And then from Jubilees 8:22 to 24, it highlights what was given to the seed of Ham and all that belongs to him. And then 25 to 29 highlights what was given to the seed of Japheth and all that belongs to him. All right, so you can go on your own time and you can see that to see how they all connect. All right, let's look at verses 29 and verse 30.
This is the land which came forth for Japheth and his sons as the portion of his inheritance, which he should possess for himself and his sons for their generations forever.
So Japheth was given this land forever. The north belongs to Japheth forever. Go ahead.
5 great islands and a great land in the north.
When you look at what the 5 great islands are in a picture, you'll see all that of Europe. All of those places right there were given to him. Continue.
Jubilees 8, verse 30. But it is cold, and the land of Ham is hot, and the land of Shem is neither hot nor cold, but it is of blended cold and heat.
See, Mishpachah, it tells us that the temperatures that we see there, and we're going to go to something important in a minute to show you something. The temperatures are also linked to the locations, the environment. So the lands of the north, the great lands of the north, the 5 islands, it is cold. But the land of Ham is hot. The land of Shem is neither hot nor cold, but it is blended cold and heat. So we have that perfect temperature. That's why when our people start to go up north, it's too cold for us. We'll go down south, it's too hot. We want to be right where it's nice and cool. Okay, to enjoy that weather that we are tuned into. Genesis chapter 10, verses 2, 3, and 4. We're going to read all of it.
The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madea, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Teras. 10, verse 3. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphat, and Togarmah. Genesis 10:4, and the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodem.
All of these names here play a very important role in the family of Japheth, in the kingdom of Europa or Europe. We're going to see some videos on that. We're going to see some things on that, okay? But what is interesting, it is also found in the book of Joshua. Let me pull this aside and let's go to the book of Joshua. And this is Joshua 10, 6 to 18. Joshua 10, verse 6 to verse 18. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's see. Okay. And go ahead and read verse 6 and 7.
And the sons of Japhet, the son of Noah, went and built themselves cities in the places where they were scattered.
Okay, pause this. So we're getting the account of where they were scattered. Remember, they just came off of the boat, a whole year on the boat. In the springtime, they came off of that boat, and now they're going to their own locations after having families, because in that location, over a period of time, they're filly booming, they're having children, and the families are getting bigger, so now it's time to spread out. So now they're scattering themselves, and the places where they go, they're naming their cities after themselves. Go ahead. The sons.
And the sons of Japhet were divided upon the face of the earth into many divisions and languages. And these are the sons of Japhet, according to their families: Gomer, Magog, Media, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Teras. These are the children of Japhet according to their generations. And the children of Gomer, according to their cities, were the Francum.
That's France. If y'all want to look it up.
And dwell in the land of Franza, by the river Franz, by the river Sinan. And the children of Retha are the Bartonim, who dwell in the land of Bartonia.
Okay, pause a minute. We're just going to pull this one up. I just want to give you an example. We're not going to go through all of them for time's sake, but I'm going to show you something. Land of Bartonia. Let's piece it here. What does it say over here? Let me pull this up, Wikipedia, so y'all can see it yourself. Let's make it bigger. What does that say right there?
Austria.
You see the same coat of arms with the bird? And let's look at the map here so you can get a better picture. Make it bigger so we can see. Europa is all of this. All of this is Europa. All the land of Japheth. All the cold, icy country. France, this is Francum right here. This is Italia, Italy, Rome.
The boot.
Okay. This is what we just looked at, Austria, which is also called Bartonia. Let's go back over here. Now, we're not going to read all the rest, but I want y'all to go through and see the names, dig up, look at it. It's telling you who the families are and where they reside today. Okay?
But the Bible ain't real. You don't have to believe that. It's not true. Just
let's scroll this back down.
Google's is the thing. That's real.
History is there for you to know who's who. For a reason, the Most High put these into place. All right, so this is a little depiction that I put together to kind of give us a little understanding. Mm-hmm. A lot of these families kind of mix and mesh into a lot of them because they're neighboring brothers and sisters. Excuse me. Japheth, Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Esau is also included in that because Esau conquers all of this. And I'm going to prove it to you today. Magog, Russia. Media is the Persian Empire. Okay, includes all that country of Iran and northern Iraq and all the area in that area over there. India, all those areas over there, okay? Tyrus, which is the Roman Empire, Italy. Turkey is Meshech and Tubal and Kazakhstan and all of those places up in there. When you pull up the map, you see all these different names. It's a blend of all of these families. Gomer is Britannia or British and America, because America comes out of what? Britain. All right. Ashkenaz also comes out of this right here. Javan, which is Cyprus, the Greek Empire. Tarshish, Kittim. You see Kittim right here? Don't forget that Kittim, grandson of Japheth, goes over here, takes over Rome. Esau comes in and takes over them, and it's one big happy family. So this is an example of the coats of arms today and the families that are there. It's just like connecting the dots of a family tree. It takes a lot of exhaustive work, Mishpachah. Look into it, you will see it all connects. The games they play to keep the lies going. Now, I put this in here so we can, because I talked about this in previous classes. Rebbe talked about this in previous classes about how to try to hide themselves, okay? Kiefer, read this over here for me. This is, when I click on this, right? I'll click on it after so you can see it, but I want you to read it from here first. This is the history of Ashkenazi Jews. All right? In the history section, read that for me.
Like other Jewish ethnic groups.
Pause a minute. Other Jewish ethnic groups. What other Jewish ethnic groups are there? See, that's a lie right off the bat. Because Judah represents the children, or the Jews represent the children of Judah. And under the umbrella of that kingdom, Benjamin followed, and some of Levi followed, and this is where you have the Jews that were mentioned in the so-called New Testament time. And the rest, 10 tribes, follow later on in captivity. And this is where you have the house of Israel. So you have the house of Judah and the house of Israel. We've talked about this in many classes. Go back and take a look at them. You'll see how the two houses were broken and why we have the dissension among the nation of Israel. Okay? But there's no other Jewish ethnicity groups. That's a lie off the bat. Continue.
Like other Jewish ethnicity groups, the Ashkenazim originates from the Israelites.
Pause there. Ashkenaz does not originate from Israelites. Let's see where Ashkenaz originate from. This is on the same page. Come over here. Entomology.
The name Ashkenazi derives from the biblical figure of Ashkenaz, the first son of Gomer, son of Japhet, son of Noah.
That's all we need. Remember, Shem is the progenitor of the Israelites. From Shem, we have Eber to Abraham, all the way down to Isaac, to Jacob, which his name was changed to Israel, which he fathered 12 sons, which became the nation of Israel, who we are today, the patriarchs. Ashkenaz is the son of Gomer, which is the son of Japheth. Totally different from Shem. Do you see the lies again? We exposed this in previous classes on Friday nights. We've talked about this many times. But let me pull it up for y'all to see so you won't think Brother O'Shea is, cropping stuff and editing stuff himself. This is Wikipedia. Jewish, Ashkenazi Jews. They'll tell you, also known as all of these different titles, a distinct ethnic subdivision. They're trying to find ways of covering it up and painting it. But they'll tell you they're from Rhineland, Germany, Franca, France, Italy, all the places that we just saw Japheth occupies, right? Europe. Let's scroll down. Holy Roman Empire, all of this stuff here. Now let's go down to entomology, what we just read. We just read that right there, right? Let's go to the history by religion. They'll tell you any Jew whose family, traditions, and synagogue. They're going to try to paint that picture
of trying to pull in the Herod thing.
Finding a way up inside there. The culture. Jewishness.
Fitting themselves in.
You see? Anyhow, we can move on. I just wanted to show you the lies that they try to paint, to blend and to hide. The brother over here is just like, I can't believe it. I'm just sick of it. Up here, you have the pilgrims, which came out of Britain. God promised me this land to the natives who were over here. Rape, rob, stole. Britain went over to all of the land over there in Africa, or the land of Cush, Mizraim, changed the name to Africa, stole and says, God promised me this land. Now, Ashkenaz, the family of these same people, are going into their land, Palestinian area. God promised me this land. See, do you see the craziness, Mishpachah? Do y'all see the craziness? All right, Kiefer, read that one for me. The sons of Japheth were known to be traffickers of men. I put this in here because it ties in with the mindset, the character of how these people are, and then what prophecy talks about when we see in the book of Ezekiel here and in Revelation.
Ezekiel 27:13 says, Javan, Tubal, and Meshech, they were thy merchants. They traded the persons of men and vessels of brass in thy market.
See? Javan, son of Japheth, Tubal, son of Japheth, Meshech, son of Japheth, were merchants. They traded the persons of men.
Sell men.
And vessels of brass. So they were trafficking people. And this is just a little trafficking thing here. Europe covers Asia also. Remember that. So Asia has the highest total number of human trafficking victims globally, while Europe functioned primarily as a high-demand destination region for international trafficking networks. So they grabbing up people, stealing body parts, and all those things, Mishpachah. Yes, still to today. Rebbe sent this picture here of this book. Y'all probably seen this. How they're trying to steal the identity and consider themselves to be a 13th tribe. You want to say something on that, Rebbe?
There's a lot of whitewashing going on, or whatever term you want to call it, that they're trying to change the narrative now. The stories is, well, the Khazarians are not Ashkenazim and all kinds of stuff. But if you go back and you look at ancient maps and you look at historical pieces, you'll see that they do record that the Jewish people were a bunch of converts who came from that Ukrainian region. And we did classes on that, showing you the different emblems, the artifacts that was found by archaeologists with the same star, so-called Star of Solomon or Seal of Solomon that they dug up. And that was one of the symbols that the Khazarians used. And showing the connection with that, and people from Finland and those places, they all have the same colors, excuse me, the same color on their flags and stuff, Ukraine and those places. And so it's the same set of people that migrated over to Germany, took up the names Ashkenazim, and then from there, they started making their way into among Sephardic Jews. And now they received a letter from Sephardic. We all know from the Bible that we had Israelites who were assimilated in Spain, in those areas. And then when they received a letter from that group, they found their business to move towards that region where Spain is and so forth. And then eventually, if I can sum it up, they just took over everything. Now, if you go to the data from the Israelis, Ashkenaz is the largest group and the dominant group over there. And there was a lot of kidnapping that they did. We looked into that too, of kidnapping Jews or children from the Arabia or Levant, around that side, people who lived, Israelites who lived around Africa and those regions, they kidnapped the children and changed the names and all kinds of stuff and raised the children as their own. So they're slick in what they're doing. But they always confess on themselves, but they want you to be bewitched. So that's all I got to say on that.
Thank you. I'm trying to remember the name of the class I did. I was looking for it last night, where I think it was a Friday night, where I was showing how they came into the land where the Palestinians are, and they were stealing the children. And then they were taking the children, raising them up, giving them the names so they can prove that they have the blood of the land. Remember I showed you all that? If y'all could find that class and let me know what the name is. I forgot what the name is. I have so many classes I'm doing, I forget half the names sometime. But that just shows you that they will go at any lengths to cover up and to deceive people. So when we research and dig deep to uncover who's who, we have to keep in mind, Mishpachah, that we are dealing with the seed, the DNA and biology of a person, and not a blend of color, culture, or conversions, because that's what's going to happen. You look at a person and you'll think that this person looks like an Edomite or this person looks like a Hamite, but they're not. And it has nothing to do with the color per se. The color is just a hinting point to say you may or you may not. Or the culture, because a lot of cultures have been blended. Don't forget, we are scattered into every single nation under the heaven, and we have taken on their identities. So we don't have our own identity at the moment. And the heathens have been converting into who we are, calling themselves after us, slapped with a stolen label or identity. So we are strictly looking at the seed when it comes to us bringing these things out of the nation, and not just skin color. Okay, so it's not about black and white. It's about the seed and what the promise ties to the seed. I was listening to a pastor, and I'll bring it up another Friday night, because I was just shaking my head of what he says. On one part, the Most High wakes people up to bring out certain messages, but then they become full of themselves, and then they go right back to sleep, and they start speaking a bunch of lies and damnation to their own selves. And he's talking about Cain is Abel's twin. Abel. Another one talks about Cain had a different mother, Lilith, and Abel was Eve's mother. Eve was Abel's mother. And the confusion the lengths people go just to find all kinds of crazy things is ridiculous. Okay? I don't want you to get confused with all these different things. Stick with the script. It has already been written. So Mishpachah, DNA is the genetic material passed from parent to offspring for all life on earth. And this pastor was also saying that genetics has nothing to do with the promise, that the chosen people are not special. When you say that, Deuteronomy 7 popped in my head, and I wanted to grab it. You know, when like you watch the superhero movies where they grab the weapon out of the air and just whack them. Yeah. The verse came in my head, and I wanted to grab it and just slap him with it. Because it's like you're saying one thing, but the verse is telling you, the verse is screaming out at you and telling you, this is what it is. Stop trying to go around it. Read the AI overview on the Y chromosomes.
The Y chromosome works by acting as a genetic master switch for male development.
So when it comes to passing on heritage, lineage, genealogy, the Y chromosome is what is taking the lead in this, okay? Is acting as the master switch. Go ahead.
Using specific genes to build male reproductive organs, control sperm production, and pass traits directly from father to son.
Pass traits directly from father to son. So this is why the Ishi people would not give you DNA tests, which is still inaccurate, but they refuse to do that, and they bring up the whole, we become a nation by the mother. Another lie. Paternal lineage.
Because it does not mix, father pass an almost exact copy of their Y chromosome straight down to their son.
And so it's like I hit copy and print. What comes out is identical match. So you're an identical match to Elder. You may not look like him, but everything that he's built of, you're built of. Okay? Same thing with all of us. All males are identical a copy of their father. Continue.
This unique tracking makes it helpful for studying family history and ancestry.
Now we're going this route, so when we look at the lineage of Esau and Edom, we're understanding where they are today and why are they trying to hide amongst the other nations, one, and the lies that they're trying to push out to say that we, Israel, don't exist. They have taken over Israel, and they don't exist. They have been absorbed into the Arabian Peninsula and all the different things they'll tell you. You try to hide it, Mishpaka, and you cannot hide it. Let's look at the word pedigree.
A pedigree is a list, record, or family tree that shows the line of ancestors for a person or an animal.
That's all we need. It tells you exactly who you're dealing with. Over here, there's a little picture of the DNA. And in that is a code the Most High put deep down in the cell, in the nucleus.
Looks like a ladder.
Yeah, and this is why they're trying to break it apart and dig deep and investigate and see what's going on. But they will never figure out that key element of life. Okay? All they'll tell you is there's a spark when it happens. Numbers 1 and verse 18.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
That's all we need. So I'm pulling out of this verse how Israel declared the pedigrees. And what is pedigree? Pedigree is the lineage, the line of where the heritage comes through. When we go back over here, we see the Y chromosome, what is passed down through history and ancestry. It goes directly from father to son. When we go back here, we're talking about the DNA. We're talking about the coding, what the promise is, what the contract was signed to. Now we're going to fast forward now, Mishpaka, and look at the birth of Europa. Let me see if I missed something there. Okay, I didn't miss anything. The birth of Europa. The picture is a woman riding a bull. Y'all remember that? All right, read the AI overview for me.
According to biblical tradition in the book of Genesis, Japheth's son Gomer, Magog, Tiras, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Medea are regarded as the ancestors of the peoples of Europe. So parts of Eurasia.
So they are regarded as the ancestors of the peoples of Europe and part of Eurasia. Brother O'Shea is not saying that. Brother O'Shea is just reading exactly what it is because the Bible told me that. And now I'm just backing it up with the research that's here. Biblical traditions and the table of nations. You see right here, it tells you where the families are located. And you can go yourselves and you can look that up. Now, let me pull this to the side and let's look at something here. This is Esau, the ancestor of what?
Rome.
We're going to go into that some more to see. Now, let me go back here, man. I wanted to highlight something here. Let's go back to Joshua real quick. And I'm going to jump down to verses 16. This is Joshua chapter 10 and verse 16. Read that for me, Kifo.
And the children of Chittim are the
Romim,
who dwell in the valley of Canopia by the river Tiber.
So Romim is Rome. It's telling you right here. We didn't have to do too much research. Remember, I tell you when you read Joshua 10, it's going to break down and tell you where the children of Japheth resided in. I wanted to highlight that. So let's go back over here now.
Joshua 10, Genesis 10.
Table of Nations. So, Mishpaka, Hold on, let me go back here. What did I open up? I opened up this right here. So let's go back here. Ancestors of Rome. So this is from the Torah.com. Go ahead and read that for me.
In the Bible, Esau is the ancestor of the Edomites who live on Mount Seir, southwest of Judah.
Okay, so if he is the ancestor of the Edomite who lived in Mount Seir, why are they going to say he doesn't exist anymore? Let's continue reading.
So, how did the rabbis come to associate Esau and Edom with Rome? Two main factors are at work here: Christianity and Herod.
See Christianity? Mishpachah, Christianity is the religion of Rome. Has nothing to do with Israel or Israelites. This is why when Constantine put it together, he came up with a perfect plan of deception. How can I capture the world under the disguise of Jesus?
And do not run to the Christians and tell them this stuff. Say, here, here, here. No, it's not going to work. You're only going to beat yourself up.
Let's continue reading.
Esau and Jacob, sibling rivalry.
Hold on a minute. Let me post this in the chat. Go ahead and read.
The Torah describes how Esau and Rebekah, The Torah describes how Isaac and Rebekah's twin sons, Jacob and Esau, battle each other in their mother's womb. Genesis 25:22.
You don't have to read that. We're just highlighting the parts that we talked about before. But when you scroll all the way down, let's scroll down and get to, let's go back up here a minute. To talk about the metaphors, because we're going to get into some of this here in a minute. I posted a link in the chat so y'all can go in and look at it yourself. But this just shows you how through Herod, Idumea, that they were reintroduced into leading Israel or taking over Israel under the rulership of Rome. And we're going to see how they all tie in before we get to this, okay? Because don't forget, Esau became the father of Latin, which is Rome. Let me go back here. We're going to get to that part. I'll come back here. All right. How one seed conquered. So now we're going to put the picture together. Take some time, look at the screen a minute. It was not technology. You see how Europe over here is spread out like tentacles? All these hands come out and they have their hands in everything. You want to say something, Emma? Uh-huh. John 11:48. All right, let me bring up John 11:40. Let's look at that. John 11 and verse 48. All right, read 47 to 48, Kifo. John 11:47 to 48.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council, and said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Yes, this shows you that the Roman people were in power there, and they had concern about the Romans taking over. The Romans was already taken over because of all of the disobedience and captivity that we were forced under. Sorry. So going back here, Mishpachah, we see Europa over here, the lady on the bull, pulling the stars. Those stars not only represent their families, but they represent the angels, the fallen angels that they have attaching them the power to, getting the power from. And you see the hand is Masonic. In the shape of a bull.
That's a Masonic handshake.
That's all the Masonic stuff. That's their secret societies, their powers that they go covertly. Remember, Esau was always cunning. And over here, you see them over here fighting and making deals. Japheth and Esau. Now let's get into it and see how they're mixed. Before that, let's play this video. This is... All right. Fair use, fair use.
Educational purposes only.
For educational purposes.
The original biblical manuscripts were not written in English. Of them, the most popular were the Septuagint, which was written in Greek, Peshitta, which was written in Middle Aramaic, the Textus Receptus, written in Greek, and the Vulgate, which was written in Latin. The Septuagint is a pre-Christian translation of the Hebrew Bible, and some related texts into Koine Greek. The Greek manuscripts are called the Codex Vaticanus and Codex Sinaiticus. Fragments are dated around the end of the 2nd century, and complete scripts are dated around the 4th century. The King James Version of the Bible was not translated from the Septuagint, but from the Textus Receptus. Why is this important to know? If you research Rome or Romans, you will notice that it is not recorded in the Old Testament at all, but you will find it in the Apocrypha, which was removed out of the 1611 King James Bible. You can also find the word Romans in the book of Daniel of the Septuagint. Were they deliberately trying to hide who the Romans are? In the Septuagint, the book of Daniel 11:30 translates the occurrence of Kittim in as Romans. Maccabees 1:1 states that Alexander the Great, the Macedonian, had come from the land of Kittim, or the land of the Romans. Jasher 10:16, and the children of Chittim are the Romans, who dwell in the valley of Canopia by the river Tiber. The Catholics even debated on whether or not to remove the book of Revelation out of the Bible. Louis Ginsburg, in his book titled Legends of the Jews, writes, "They, Esau and Jacob, will never be in the same estate. Esau will vaunt lords, while Jacob will have kings."
Very important here. Y'all see this right here? You can Google it and look it up yourself.
Ginsburg.
Say his name, Keith. What do you call it?
Rabbi Louis Ginsburg.
Ginsburg. So they, Esau and Jacob, will never be the same estate. Prophecy already said that. Esau will vaunt lords while Jacob have kings. Those lords are the dukes, okay? They, Israel and Rome, are the two nations destined to be hated by all the world. Why? Behind this, Ashkenaz is going to try to paint themselves as the victim, like they always do, right? As being hated, but not in the sense of what rightfully the hated part is. Because don't forget, Esau takes control over all of these nations, and in the end, he's going to be destroyed and hated by these nations. That's what the prophecies foretells. Then on top of that, since we are the chosen, the world already hates us because it hates our Messiah. That's what our Messiah tells us to. So, yes, that is true. Both nations will be hated. One will exceed the other in strength. First, Esau will subjugate the whole world, but in the end, Jacob will rule over all. That's the prophecy. So what this person is saying is true when it comes to understanding who's on top right now and who's going to be on top later. Let's continue.
They, Israel and Rome, are the two nations destined to be hated by all the world. One will exceed the other in strength. First, Esau will subjugate the whole world.
This is a white man's world. A white man from Europe dominates the whole planet. White men go into any country and kill everybody, take over anything they want. This is a white man's country. It's a white man's world.
But in the end, Jacob will rule over all. Legends, Volume 1, page 314. Ginsburg further relates that God will call out to the Messiah, roar at this monster that devours the fat of the nations, that justifies its claims for recognition through being a descendant of Abraham by his grandson Esau, the nation that kept Israel back from the study of the Torah.
Now, remember, if you go back to the class I did with The Truth About Ruth, and many other classes Rebbe also did, we showed that even when Israel was trying to just cross over and go from one point to the next, Esau was always on our tail. And the Most High says, just stay away from them. Don't hate them. They're your brother too. Just leave them alone. Just continue. And every time we go out, they come behind and they try to do something devious and wicked. And when the other nations came against us, they stood by and did not help. Some of them sometimes recorded, they even came in and tried to do us more harm. Mm-hmm. And then later on, we see currently today, they're the ones in power doing majority of the harm. So this is why that the prophecies is flowing the way it's flowing currently, and why they will be destroyed as a nation. So go back and look at those classes and you'll see why the Most High put it that way for a reason. Okay, let's continue.
And tempted them to deeds that are in accord with the wishes of Satan. Legends, Volume 3, page 167. Don Isaac Abarbanel, 1437 to 1508, a wealthy Jewish statesman and philosopher, believed that a tradition existed that many of the early Christians were Edomites. Ernest L. Martin, an author, historian, theologian, and meteorologist, in a book titled The People That History Forgot.
That's very interesting that he's a meteorologist also, dealing with the weather. Okay. Check out that class we did with weather warlocks.
Claimed that most of the Edomites from Edom and many from Tyre went to the west to Italy and other places, where they became Christian. His book says that the Edomites migrated in masses to western regions of the Roman Empire. They became Christian but retained something of their previous practices and influenced early Christianity with their pagan traditions. Tyre was colonized by Esau. The city of Tyre was colonized by a king with the name of Aristhus, meaning King Red, who came from an area on the Red Sea. Indeed, even the Red Sea itself, which included all of what we call the Indian Ocean today, and the Persian Gulf too, was named after this King Aristhus. This King Red, or in Hebrew, Edom, was supposed to be the first to sail rafts on the waters of the Red Sea for trading purposes.
Remember, all of the history is there, but they try to hide a lot of these things. A lot of these books and videos you try to find now, they cover it up, they remove it, and they're going to call you anti-Semitic.
The first references to him show him in the Persian Gulf part of the Red Sea. Justin Martyr, however, in his garnering of early Tyrian historical events, Justin Martyr, Dialogues with Trypho, said that the original Tyrians came to Tyre from the Assyrian Sea, which many actually feel was the Dead Sea. This, indeed, was the original territory where Edom first resided. But Edom expanded. Trading colonies were established on the Mediterranean coast, in the Red Sea at Aqaba, and on the Persian Gulf. It was reckoned that in early times, even before the time of David, descendants of the Edomites, or a portion of them, moved from their areas south and east of Jerusalem into the northern coastal towns of Sidon.
All right, again, when you go back to that class I was telling you about, Truth About Ruth, I have the maps there, and you'll see this same thing here, where we were trying to come from point A to point B, and we have to go all the way around to avoid Edom, because they were trying to kill us off.
And then to Tyre, where they made their northern capital. The king of Tyrus, which is Tyre, is none other than Satan. Thus Satan is the king of the Edomites and their father. Tsor, the same as Tsor, a rock, Tsor, a place in Palestine, Tyre, Tyrus. The worldview of Esau has been passed down as a cultural inheritance throughout history, from Edom to the Roman Empire to the Catholic Church to modern Europe, and most recently to the United States and its empire. In other words, Western civilization as a whole.
History is a pack of lies about events that never happened, told by people who weren't there. George Santayana. History is a set of lies agreed upon. Napoleon Bonaparte.
So again, that's how they try to cover themselves up. And you saw the connection. Let me go back here real quick. Let me go back to the video real quick just to close out this part here. The ending part, I wanted to make the connect real quick. Let's go back to here.
inheritance throughout history from Edom to the Roman Empire
So from Edom to the Roman Empire
to the Catholic Church
to the Catholic Church,
to modern Europe
modern
and most
Europe.
recently to the United States and its empire.
Okay, so y'all see how the connection goes, right? From point A to B to C all the way down, and it gives you the perfect picture. Rebbe, you wanted to pull something out of Romans, Daniel 11?
Yeah, in Daniel 11, it spoke about Chittim, as it was mentioned earlier. I just wanted to share with the Mishpachah. I sent you 2 links. Go to the first one.
Okay.
So you see, it says that the ships of Chittim shall come against him.
Yep.
Verses 30. Remember when it was mentioned that they hid that word Chittim.
Yep.
So hid the word Rome, so it appears as Chittim. So when you look at the Blue Letter Bible, scroll down a little bit. It says Cyprus, right? But when you go down into the definition, keep going, right there. You see, it says Greeks or Romans.
Yep.
See how they bury stuff in there? Now go to the other link. This is the Catholic Bible that I think was used before we had the King James thing. But this is the 1899 copy of it. It says, and the galleys of the Romans shall come upon him. See, so they use, and other translations also use the same thing, Romans, although it will say Cyprus and in the hands of the Romans, right? So again, there's a reason why they do these things, because whoever's in power controls the literature that goes out. Okay, they will change certain things. Just like sometimes when you see these buildings, and you let's say that there's a leak in the pipes or whatever it is, and they start to fix the foundation, they will find another city underneath that foundation, and when they dig that up, there's another city underneath the other foundation, and that's how these people operate. They don't just start something fresh; they just build on top of everything else and claim that they were the originals.
That's what you call
Thieves.
We got many
that's what you call this, Rebbe, the Russian egg. You remember that the thing inside the thing inside the thing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the one with the little peep. Here it is right here. Every time you open it, another thing pops up. That's what you were referring to. So they bury things so deep that unless you're not looking for it, you won't find it. And it's right here before you, Mishpachah. The evidence is there for us to see. So Chittim, right over here, Javan, Cyprus, which was Greek first. Because you remember when you read the book of Maccabees, let's go there so people can actually see it again. Brother O'Shea's not making it up. The book of Maccabees. Let me open up a new tab. Let's go here. Maccabees chapter 1. And we read this, and we always read this here for Festival of Lights and bringing it up here. Go ahead and read that for me, Kiefer.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians.
So pause a minute. Daniel's vision is very important. You can't get away from it. You have Babylon, then you had Medes and Persian, then you had what? Greece. This is what we're reading here. Continue reading. Medes and Persian.
Medes and
Persia and Medes.
Persian and Medes. And he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
So he was the first over Greece. Then later on, when you jump down, it talks about him falling sick, and then his Alexander. Who was Alexander? He was a Roman. That he was a Greek, but he became a Roman after, because when you look at it, his son, not his sons, his right here, his men. Verse 10.
They came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Ephinus, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome.
So how are you a hostage at Rome? That means the Romans are in power, right? So the kingdom Mishpachah was taken over according to the prophet Daniel from Babylon to Medes and Persia to Greece to Rome, and then from Rome now to America. This is what we're seeing here when you go all the way back. Okay, we're going to make some more connects. We're going to see. All right, Esau's grandson Zepho. This is the connection here. I want y'all to make sure y'all taking notes of these verses and scriptures, so when you're doing your research, when you're talking to other people, you know how to prove all things. Okay, Esau's grandson, which is Zepho, takes over the land of Japheth, Greece. Joshua 61 and verse 23.
At the revolution of the year, the troops of Africa continued coming to the land of Chittim to plunder as usual, and Zepho, son of Eliphaz, heard their report, and he gave orders concerning them, and he fought with them, and they fled before him, and he delivered the land of Chittim for them.
So Zepho is the son of what? Who? Eliphaz. Who is the son of who? Esau. Remember, I think y'all forgot already. Let me go back to this picture right here. See right here? Esau's firstborn is Eliphaz. All right. And right down here, Eliphaz's son is Duke Zepho. So let's go back forward again. Zepho, the son of Eliphaz, heard their report and gave orders concerning them, and he fought. So the troops of Africa, when you read the story, some of the Hamite nations were coming in and taking up the land back. Because you remember when Esau killed Nimrod, he claimed that territory and that power. And there was a lot of war starting to form there. And it was a going back and forth of power between the families. And Zepho came in later on, and he did what? He delivered the land of Chittim from the hand of Ham. Chittim is who? Let's go back here again. Is under Cyprus, the Grecian Empire that we just read about, which later Rome took over.
Right.
Okay? Hope y'all are following. Let's go forward now. Verse 24 of Joshua 61.
And the children of Chittim saw the valor of Zepho.
Valor again, military stuff.
And the children of Chittim resolved, and they made Zepho king over them.
So Zepho became ruler over the land of Chittim, Greece. Continue.
And he became king over them. And whilst he reigned, they went to subdue the children of Tubal and all the surrounding islands.
Remember, let's go back because I want to make sure y'all keep the pictures in here. Tubal is, where's Tubal? Over here. All of Turkey area. All of Italia. All of the surrounding islands. Britannia. Russia. The whole of Europe is what we're referring to. See right here? Chittim is taking over all of Europe. We're going to see. We're going to read it for ourselves. So right here we see Zepho became king. He went, subdued the children of Tubal and all the surrounding islands. Made himself king. Verse 25.
And there King Zepho went at their head, and they made war with Tubal and the islands, and they subdued them. And when they returned from the battle, they renewed his government for him. And they built for him a very large palace for his royal habitation and seat. And they made a large throne for him. Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, that's right.
And Zepho reigned over the whole land of Chittim.
Zepho reigned where?
Over the whole land of Chittim. And over the land of Italy, 50 years.
So we see the picture becoming more clearer, Mishpachah. He is ruling over the land of Chittim and Italia, which is Italy. Let me pull this up here, man.
Italians.
Okay, this is Same thing we read right here, right? Let's go up. This is from Edom becomes Rome. This is Jerusalem light. So they know. It's right here for you to see. Let me put that in the chat so y'all can have that. Copy and paste. They took over the land of Rome. This is how they conquered everything. Okay, let's continue.
Constantinople, Constantine.
Read that there, Romim.
Romim, and Chittim, also spelled Kittim, are terms from ancient Hebrew texts. Romim refers to the Romans,
Okay.
while Chittim originally meant the people of Cyprus, but over time, Jewish extra-biblical and prophetic traditions, such as the Dead Sea Scrolls, expanded Chittim to mean Western or Mediterranean empires, specifically the Roman Empire.
So it's right before your eyes. Rome is Chittim. Chittim is Rome. Western and Mediterranean empires, because he conquered. When Alexander the Great went down, he conquered through Epiphanes and all those other generals and different things. Start conquering all of the world.
The eagle.
Okay. That's the sign right there. We're going to get into that too. All right. Joshua chapter 90, verses 8.
And the children of Chittim ruled over Edom.
So the children of Chittim. Remember, Chittim is from where?
Japheth.
Let's go back and see, because I think people forget. Chittim is from Japheth, right? But who was ruling Chittim? Zepho. Esau was ruling them already, right? Let's go back forward. So the children of Chittim ruled over Edom.
And Edom became under the hand of the children of Chittim and became one kingdom from that day.
So don't get it confused and think that Japheth overtook Esau. No. Esau was ruling Chittim. It was a brother who was fighting against another brother. So Esau is taking over Esau. I don't want y'all to get confused about it and think it's something different. Esau, which is Zepho, ruled over Chittim, which is the land of Greece and all of those surrounding islands. And then later on, they had another war between the siblings and Edom. And then Edom did what? Was taken over by Chittim, ruled over Edom. So Esau is taking over Esau now. And they became one kingdom. Verses 9.
And from that time, they could no more lift up their heads, and their kingdom became one with the children of Chittim.
So I hope this is not confusing to y'all, Mishpachah. It's very simple. The children of Japheth and the children of Esau mixed and mingled and become one. This is what we're showing you today. Let's show you some more proof. Verses 29, Joshua 90 and verse 29.
And during his reign, he brought forth an army, and he went and fought against the inhabitants of Britannia.
That's Britain.
And Cernea.
That's up in Germany and Russia area.
The children of Elisha, sons of Javan, and he prevailed over them and made them tributary.
So let me pull this aside and pull up a map so we can get a better understanding. Let's get a map so Mishpachah can see. Google Maps. Ukraine and all those areas. Yes. Images. Let's pull up map instead. All right, so let's zoom this out all the way out. Come on. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Let's scroll over to here. And let's get an understanding of what I'm talking about. So when you see Kazakhstan, all these names that are hard to pronounce in the Turkey area here, Syria, Greece, Romania, Ukraine, Belarus, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, all of these kingdoms right here, Mishpachah. Let's go up higher. Russia. Now you may see green here and don't see nothing. When you zoom in, you'll start to see the names of the places. It's in a different language, but all of this right here is Rand. This is where the wars, the families start to fight. So when we're reading about, let me make this a bit smaller first. Let's make this back smaller. When we're reading about this over here, let's bring this to right here. Britannia, that's all of Britain. That's right in this area here. Kernia is all this area over here. And the children of Elisha, son of Javan, that's all over here, down this area here. He prevailed over them and made them tributary. What does making somebody a tributary? Vassals. Okay? Verses 30.
And he then heard that Edom had revolted from under the hand of Chittim.
So Esau is fighting Esau again. The other sons of Esau don't want to be under the hand of Zepho, which runs Chittim. Go ahead.
And Latinius went to them and smote them and subdued them.
So now Rome is coming over to do what? Fight against the rest of the Edomites.
And placed them under the hand of the children of Chittim.
So Esau is fighting Esau again.
And Edom became one kingdom with the children of Chittim all the days.
I just don't want y'all to get confused and think it's something different. It's a family affair that's happening over here. That's why when you watch those movies, Braveheart, give me some of the other names, King Arthur, Robin Hood, what's the one with Mel Gibson? Oh, that's Braveheart. I said it already. Yeah. A lot of these movies where the France is fighting against
family.
Spain against Ireland, and Ireland against France, and France against this and that. And then it went all the way down to France against England, and England, people broke away and they formed America, and now America is fighting the rest of the world. And you see how Esau is America, and Esau is taking over all the rest of the kingdoms today. America is taking over all of the kingdoms today. Nothing new, Mishpachah. Just a continuation of the same mess. Where and who is Esau today? This is the question, right? Let's look at this symbol here. Open this up. Rebbe did this in many of his classes, the Roman Empire times. And we saw this bird, eagle. In part one, I talked about this bird, nest amongst the stars. Those fallen angels, that's where they get their power from. They always want to be up there talking about they're the most powerful ones. And the talons always holding something. This right here is an Egyptian symbol right here. If y'all want to look it up. All right, this is another symbol from the Levant area. They're just ruling and conquering. This is the Grecian symbol right here. All right. And the coat of arms that they have on them right here. The bird has it's mentioned in the verse that we're going to read here shortly. A protection over it, like a bulletproof vest that we will call today armor. All right, let's read down a little bit and see. See, right, it says the eagle, Rome, heritage. Roman Empire, Pinley the elder. See the bird right there? Let me put this in the chat. You guys can look at it yourself. Just for time's sake, we have other things to go over also. Paste. Come on. Let me copy again.
And if you see in one of the movies called Kingsman, you will see how all the families gather on a large mountain to discuss problems that they're having. But that's still the house of Edom or Esau that is getting gathered together to battle around the world and do all kind of stuff. It's called Kingsman is the movie. You look at it, you'll see it.
They always reveal themselves. I'll read the AI overview for me.
Herod the Great came from an Idumean background, meaning His family originated from Idumea, the region known as Edom in the Hebrew Bible. On his father's side, he was the son of Antipater the Idumean. And on his mother's side, his mother, Cypros, was a Nabatean Arab princess.
See, so this is where, again, Esau is going to make the connection and says, through the mother's side, this is why they claim Esau is swallowed up in the Arabian side of the family, which we know, I showed you, it's nothing to do with the mother, it's always the father's side. That's why it mentions on his father's side. He is from Esau, and he was the one ruling. Let me pull up this real quick to share.
Brother Shay.
Yes.
If you don't mind, I don't want to take up your time. And I'm not sure if you have it, but the book of Acts, chapter 26, a couple of verses in there I want to share with the Mishpachah that ties into what you're bringing.
Acts 26.
Yes.
Acts 26. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so verses 1, Acts 26. I think you got some else.
I'm sorry. Acts 20. I thought I hit forward. That's why I was like, wait a minute. I know Michael is not in the book of Acts.
So let's read from 1 to verses 3.
Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Then Paul stretched forth the hand and answered for himself, I think myself happy, King Agrippa, because I shall answer for myself this day before thee touching all the things whereof I am accused of the Jews.
No, stop for a second. Notice he didn't say our people. Like King Agrippa was not a Jew or Israelite. Right. Read on, verses 3.
Especially because I know thee to be expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews.
Again, he didn't say among our people. And he says he's an expert because these are Edomites. This is the lineage of Esau, of Herod, right? And some of you all are familiar with Bernice in the Bible.
Yep.
Bernice. So you don't have to read any more of this, Kifa. Just wanted that little part right there. Because as the question is on the table, what happened to these Edomites? Well, they're always there. They just got into the royalty. That's why it was shown the family crests of these Europeans. They give you little bits and pieces of it. But when you look and you connect the dots, they're all related. And I think as you go into your presentation, you're going to reveal some more of that. So I'll just stop there.
Thank you, Rebbe. Yes, Mishpachah, you cannot hide the truth. Now, when we read in here, this is in Wikipedia. What Kifa was reading here, I'm showing you, he was the founder of the Herodian dynasty, the father of Herod the Great, right? Continues, it says, a native of Idumea, a region southwest of Judah, in which the what? Edomites settled during the classic period. Antipater became a powerful official under the latter Hasmonean kings. So the evidence is there for you, Mishpachah, to show you. Let's pull up this one here. And I can put this in the chat also. Copy. So you all have the same things I'm reading, so you can see it for yourselves. Was King Herod a descendant of Esau, an Idumean? Make it bigger so we can read it. Go ahead and read this part here. The first part.
Flavius Josephus, approximately AD 30 to 100, the Jewish historian, tells us that Esau's descendants inhabited the region of Idumea at least 2 times in the antiquities of the Jews. This is important since Herod Antipater, also called Herod Antipas, was a descendant of Esau, the father of the Edomites.
Now he's going to go and show you how it links son of Esau, Eliphaz, legitimate sons, Theman, Omar, Saphasus, Gotham, Kenaz, for Amalek was not legitimate, but by a concubine, and it jumps down and it tells you where Idumea comes out of, right? And when you read down, it tells you right here that this is how they found him to come from that seed. So I put it in the chat. You can see it for yourself too. Let me pull up something else here. Give me 1 second. Rebbe sent this here last week, and I wanted to pull it up so we can actually see where we're getting all the information from. Okay. So this is it right here. Okay. 1 second, Mishpachah. All right, here it is. Let's open that up. Preview. Rebbe, you wanted to touch on this real quick?
Okay, so this is Gaius Julius Agrippa, right? And when you go, let's look at the highlighted parts. He was of Jewish Nabatean Edomite. Now, when it says Jewish, you have to take that with a grain of salt, okay? Because the Herodians came when the Maccabean dynasty had died off. They married until they had no more children, just daughters, and then that became into Herod and all that stuff because they was married off into Herod. So it says through Tigranes, he was a descendant of King Archelaus of Cappadocia, king of Judea, Herod the Great, and his wife Miriam. Y'all see that? Okay. Agrippa, along with his family and paternal relatives, were among the last known descendants, see it, of the Herodian dynasty. So you see where it says Jewish? You can't have the two. Jewish is kind of like, it's not in Hebrew. Okay? So they come from the Herodian dynasty. But scroll down some more. Just underline parts. When his parents married in Rome in 58, then Roman Emperor Nero crowned his parents as monarchs. Y'all see that? And gave them that region to rule. There's an honorific inscription dedicated to him as son of King Alexander. Right? And it goes on. I'll just read the highlighted part. A possible descendant from his family was the usurper of the 3rd century Jotapanius. Okay? Now, I don't know if you have, scroll down some more, let's see. So there goes the lineage, Herod, keep going down. Excuse me. And there goes the guy right there, keep going down. There goes the family tree. Okay? And he's tied into the Roman monarchs. So I think I sent you the links for all of that too.
Yeah, let me pull it
I
up.
don't know if you have it, just to kind of quickly go through it. Yeah, there you go. Jotapian. Notice what it says here. Jotapian, Emperor Jotapian, and the all-powerful Caesars who ruled the empire of ancient Rome. So you see how the families, and what they do is that they kind of blur things a little bit. You know what I mean? But when you dig into the family background, these people transition to become the emperors and stuff. Y'all see it there? He reigned as Roman emperor, Caesar. Okay, you can scroll down. I'm not sure if there's anything else there. All right, Jotopian claimed descendant from Greek king Alexander the Great. See all the connections? So the people in that region, Greece, Cyprus, Greece, all of that region, they all kind of like spread out, and then dog eat dog, and then they just transition into becoming monarchs and all kinds of stuff. Now this one here is dealing with the Sabines. And the Sabines divided into two populations just after the founding of Rome, which described by Roman legend. It says that it descended from Sabines, but was also Latinized, right? Rome came from this. Keep going down. And y'all can read this for yourself, but this is the highlighted part right there. The legend of the Sabine women, or the rape of the Sabine women. Legend says that the Romans abducted Sabine women to populate newly built Rome. Scroll down. Go back up just a little bit, O'Shea, just a second, real quick. Okay, no, that's fine. Go down to the highlighted part. A variation of the story is recounted in the book of Jasher, chapter 17, 1 to 15. Remember you read about it? Yep. Did you read it? Okay. And then it says here, I'm sorry?
I'll pull that one up after to show them.
Okay. Traditions. The early Roman kingdom was a result of a union of Sabines and others. Some of the gentes of the Roman Republic were proud of their Sabine heritage. And it goes on. Scroll down. Excuse me. I don't know if there's anything else there. I think that's about it. So you're seeing this history. They call it legend. And it says this thing occurred amongst the Roman legend of the founding of Rome. And then they point you a clue to the book of Jasher. So now when you go to Jasher, you're going to see where the whole thing occurred, and Esau's up in that business.
Yeah, this is where I was talking about earlier, but I didn't pull this one in here. Because again, it's so much connections to show you how Esau himself mixed in with Japheth. And you see Chittim made the War of Tubal. I was reading about that earlier, right? Building the cities. And the part where they was talking about is how they took the women, right here, who greatly delighted in the beauty of women, took wives in those days from the daughters of Tubal, so they can populate. For the children of Tubal kept their oaths not to intermarry with them. But what happened? City of, what we just read here, see it right there? Took the young women and the daughters. So when you get a chance, you can go and look at that to make the other connections and to make the connections much more stronger. All right, let's move on here. So Roman Britannia was a territory that became the Roman province. And you can see here, out of all of this, America is birthed. And today, America and the Jews are working together hand in hand to bring about the mark of the beast system. Moscow is also known as the third Rome. It's a lot of connections, Mishpachah, a lot of connections to show. Let me pull this up real quick to connect this one here so you can see for yourself. This is called the Royal Heraldry. Let me put this in the chat for y'all to have it for yourselves too.
And this, brethren, is where you have the word Tsar, the Tsar of Russia. The Tsar, the word Tsar is an offshoot of the word Caesar. And when you look at the Russian family, you look at Queen Victoria and all those people, and remember they're all cousins. The last monarch to rule over Russia was cousin to the King, was it King George or whatever his name is, of England. And I think it's King William of Germany. They're all family. Okay, they're all family. And so there's this prophecy about Rome being reestablished again in Russia. This is what Putin is really pushing about, and his monk, or the Russian Orthodox Church, y'all can look that up too.
Yep,
is trying to get the third Rome established. They believe the prophecy that Moscow is going to be the third Rome, family. Right? A successor of the first Rome. Okay? And the first Rome is set up by Zepho. So it's all one big hodgepodge of, oh, it's Esau. Esau's everywhere in Europe. especially among the elite.
Yep. Esau is the one that made the elites. Let's look at some more. Read that, Kiefer, yes?
Yes, all 10 reigning hereditary monarchs in Europe are related to each other, sharing common ancestors.
That's all we need. That's all we need right there. And you see it right here, Mishpachah, the hereditary monarchs, how they're all connected from King Charlie all the way down, right? I have a video to play. I was trying to download this video here in...
the U.S. to say all the presidents are related, so...
Yeah.
And let me say this while you're pulling it up real quick. Some of y'all who watch Candace Owen, there's a unique thing happening right now where there's always this mention about Christ as King. I've told you all about that before. But there's also a connection to Russia, and not in a evil way, but to the point where they are looked at, the Russians are looked at as the preserver of Christian, Western Christian values. No homosexuality, none of that nonsense of mixing and Judeo-Christian or whatever it is, just keeping it pure. They believe that they are the defender of traditional Christian values. And let me post this in the chat. And this is why this war with Ukraine is so important, because the president of Ukraine is a Jubu. The president of Ukraine is a Jubu.
And an actor.
And Mr. Carr, please bear with me. We're almost at the time to close, but I want to cover these things here. This is a lot of information here to go out. I'll share some videos here shortly. Keith, we're going to read that. What they want us to believe.
Historically, the descendants of Esau, the Edomites, settled in the region of Mount Seir, modern-day southern Jordan. Following the Roman-Jewish wars, they assimilated into Arab populations and the border Middle East.
So a lot of the wars we see going on over there, Mishpachah, is because of Esau. Okay? You hear the war in the Middle East all the time, it's because of Esau and Ishmael.
Today, there are no distinct, identifiable ethnic traces of the ancient Edomites.
That's the lie that they put out.
As their distinct lineage was lost to historical migrations and intermarriage.
Now, the truth behind of it is Esau took over. So they're trying to cover up. It's like somebody, as they're walking, they're sweeping up their footprints. As they're shooting, they're collecting their brass, so to leave no trace evidence behind, so you don't know that this person was there.
Yep.
What they want us to believe again.
The biblical figure Esau lived thousands of years ago, so he is not present today.
That's the lie that they want to push. Continue.
His descendants, the ancient Edomites, do not exist as a separate nation.
So you won't hear the term Esau. So that is the truth, because they took on another identity, which are America, Rome, Europe, all these other nations. Okay?
Historians and geneticists agree that the Edomites were absorbed into other populations, such as Jewish society in the ancient region of Idumea, thousands of years ago.
Again, the serpent speaks. They give you a little taste, and a little taste here, a little taste there. All right, let's play this video here. I found this video, and I can't find it on the web. I can't find this video on the web no more, but I have it saved. All right, fair is fair. This is this lady interviewing some people, asking them some questions of who Ashkenaz is.
אשכנז. זה השם שלו? אשכנזים. אז זה אנחנו.
גם אשכנזים. אנחנו לא מדגישים את זה. אנחנו לא, אצלנו התחתנו אשכנזים עם ספרדים, ולא, זה לא מורגש בכלל.
There's no difference. Go ahead.
אשכנז.
לא יודע, אנחנו לא מפה.
מאירופה, מאיפה באים? מאירופה הם באים, לא מאסיה. מאירופה.
לבן, צפוני, בורגני. זאת אומרת לי מה שאני, את חושבת שאני רוצה לשמוע? לא, זה מה שאני מרגישה. אני?
אשכנזים זה כל הלבנים, שחורים זה כל מזרחיים.
See what he says? He says Ashkenazi is what? Let me go back here again. He's here beating his rugs.
אשכנזים זה כל הלבנים.
Ashkenazim are all whites.
שחורים זה כל המזרחיים.
Did we not read that in the book of Joshua? All right. And Shem is mixed in between all of that mess. So they can't hide that they come from the European side, but they'll tell you, no, we're Jewish. We're the Ishi peoples. Again, the lies continue. Let me play this video first. I'm trying to find the link. Let's see if I have the link. You know what? Let me pull up from Rebbe. Hold on, Rebbe. You sent me this link here. I'm going to pull this up because I downloaded a video, but for some reason when I play it, it only plays in Spanish. It's not giving me the translation of it. So I'm going to pull it up from YouTube right here. Here it is. I think I had it up here. Okay, I had it here ready. Let me close it off. It's right here. I had it set. So let's play it from here. Fair use, fair use. For educational purposes.
Are the 10 monarchs who still hold their thrones in Europe, Orab. At first glance, they appear as separate worlds. Different languages, countries with little in common, and dynasties with centuries of history. But if we start tracing the branches backward, something unexpected happens. Many lines end up colliding at the same point. And so that you have no doubts today, I'm going to unfold the family tree for you. Brace yourselves, because this is not a boring history lesson. This is a map of blood, marriages of convenience, the occasional scandal, and above all, proof that Europe has been a huge and exclusive family business for centuries.
So Europe has been an exclusive family business for centuries. I'll post it in the chat. Y'all can go look at the whole video because it's very interesting. I actually downloaded it and had it cut, but for some reason it only plays in Spanish. Let me show you. I have it right here. Let me play my video part so you can see it. Same video right here. It didn't want to translate.
Estos son los 10 monarcas que todavía conservan su...
I tried all night, tried to translate it. It won't give it to me. So for the Spanish-speaking brethren, maybe y'all could translate that. But for time's sake, I posted in the chat. Go ahead and look at it to get more evidence of it. Okay. Let's continue. Remember, if Esau is gone, because they want you to believe Esau is no longer, then the prophecies are gone, Mishpachah. If Esau is gone, the prophecies are gone, which would mean that the prophets lied, which means Elohim word isn't true. You see how that connects? So flip it the other way. Okay. So we know that the Most High's words are true and that the prophets did not lie. So the prophecies are still unfolding and coming to pass. So Esau is hiding amongst the weeds again. If this was true, then the prophecies are false. So the prophet David, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Amos, Obadiah, Malachi, Jeremiah again, and Esdras all prophesied the future of Esau and all the other nations that followed after him. What revenge, this is the question I want to ask, what revenge will Messiah have if Esau no longer exists? Because if the Messiah says, vengeance is his, don't worry about it, I'll take care of Esau, and Esau doesn't exist anymore, why is the Messiah coming back as far as vengeance? See, this is where Christianity paints the picture of love. There'll be no bloodshed. The Messiah is going to come back and save everyone. That's the lie. Isaiah 63 and verse 1.
Who is this that cometh from Edom?
So the Messiah, when we connect this to Revelation, he's the one on the white horse that's going to come from Edom.
With dyed garments from Bozrah.
That dyness is the blood shed of Esau.
This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
So he's the one that's going to be mighty and be able to save us. When you read the whole prophecy of Isaiah 63:1, it is telling us the future of the Messiah coming back in vengeance to retaliate for all of the wickedness that they have done unto us. Okay, I'm just giving you the connections for you to go and read the rest of the story. Has Messiah's vengeance happened yet? This is the question. Has his vengeance happened yet? Isaiah 34 and verse 4.
And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved.
Has this happened yet?
No.
Okay.
And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree.
So again, has this happened yet? Do we see the return of our Messiah yet?
Not yet.
No. Okay, continue.
For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
So hold on. So behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. So this is a prophecy telling that the judgment is going to come upon Idumea. See how the word Idumea connects back to Edom, back to Esau. All right, continue.
Isaiah 34 verse 6, the sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh had sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Verse 8, for it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion.
So because they came and they did us all wrong, we're Zion, the Most High is going to come back and his son Yeshua is going to have the vengeance upon Idumea, which is Bozrah, and there will be a great slaughter. Let's look at 2nd Esdras 3 and verse 16. Now, Mishpachah, we're not going to rush it or anything, but I only have a couple slides to go. It's just some reading, so bear with me as we go through this to get the essence of it, okay? I know we pass the time a little bit, but just bear with me, and we will get the whole essence of it. 2nd Esdras chapter 3 and verse 16. Go ahead and read that.
And unto him thou givest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou givest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau, and so Jacob became a great multitude.
The word put by means he put aside. He says, I don't want to choose Esau, I'm going to choose Jacob. So this is where, when you look at it, the recompense for the controversy of Zion, he's saying, I chose Jacob, I did not choose Esau, I put him aside. Because of his wickedness, I'm going to slaughter him. Vengeance will be mine. Okay? So what saith the prophets? Look at this picture. Babylon is the new America. I want y'all to understand. We're going back into the picture of the statue that Daniel had. This last kingdom is all of the kingdoms of Daniel. All of the captivities we've been through, this last captivity is a combination of all of them. Look at all these books. There are more books out there. America, the Babylon. America, the Babylon, again, different one. America, daughter of Babylon. The final Babylon, America, and the coming of the Antichrist. American Babylon, the fall of Babylon, the United States of America. So we see right here, Mishpachah, some examples of not only Brother O'Shea saying this, but we have the evidence. The evidence is right before you. America is the new Babylon. Why am I saying this? This prophecy foretells this. Jeremiah 51 and verse 1.
Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind.
So the Most High is coming to destroy Babylon. It says, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that raise up against me. Verse 2.
And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about.
And that is people who was coming in and making this thing to happen faster, okay? When you talk about fanners. Verses 3.
Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men destroy ye utterly all her hosts.
This is why the symbol, you see the symbol right there with the eagle having that chest plate. That's the brigandine. That's what the archers used to wear. That chain armor on them with the bow and the archer with the bullets. Same thing that we're seeing here, Mishpachah. All right, let's go to the next slide here. Verses 5, 6, and 7.
For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of Elohim, of his Elohim.
The prophets, Mishpachah, has always go in line with what the Most High has told them to speak. In Christianity, they'll tell you salvation is for everybody because Israel disobeyed. They're no longer here. The Most High forgot about them. Verse 5 says, for Israel hath not been what? Forsaken. The Most High is not going to turn on the people he selected. This is another lie that Christianity loves to push. Nor Judah of his Elohim. So Israel and Judah, the two houses, are coming back together. Continue.
Of Yahweh of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel.
So we had our lands filled with sin because we were following other nations, and they came in and polluted it. Verse 6.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
Babylon, flee out of Babylon. Revelation 18 and 4 says, what does that say, Mishpachah? Anybody in the chat knows? Babylon is fallen. It says, get out of her. Come out of her, my people. This is what Jeremiah is prophesying. The same thing Revelation is saying. Come out of her, my people. Are we in physical Babylon over in Assyria today? Iraq? No. Are we in Rome physically? No. We are where? All over the country. Today we in America here, Ella, but others in other countries. But America runs the world today. So yes, we are in America. Worldwide. Their money still stands. Their military is the most powerful. I've proved all this before. America is the new Babylon. Mm-hmm. So he's telling us, come out of her, meaning don't have anything to do with her. Separate yourselves from being a part of their system, because she will be cut off for all her iniquity, and the time of the Messiah's revenge is coming. This is why he's going to be coming from Basra. Verse 7.
Babylon hath been a golden cup.
That's the Trump era that we're talking about today. Continue.
In Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad.
Remember when the Rabbi, what's his name again? The one you pronounced?
Ginsburg or something. Ginsburg.
Yeah. Remember he said that the world is going to hate Esau and going to hate Jacob? Mm-hmm. They're hating Esau because of this right here. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, in Yahuwah's hand, that made all the earth drunken. Democracy. They're spreading their lies of democracy. The nations have drunken her wine. Therefore, the nations are what? They're upset at Esau. Verse 8.
Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed.
This is to come. This is going to happen.
Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed.
Which is not going to happen. Verse 9.
We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country.
That's a prophecy. The Most High says he's going to turn everyone back to their own what? Land.
For her judgment reacheth the heavens, and is lifted up even to the skies.
All of the wickedness that they have been doing, the Most High is going to put a stop to it, because it's going to come to a point where he says, enough. Verse 10.
Yahweh had brought forth our righteousness. Come, and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahweh our Elohim.
Hallelujah. Verse 11 is very interesting.
Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh had raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple.
This is very interesting. This is a prophecy that is fulfilling right before our eyes. The Medes, read down here, the Medes, the biblical land of the Medes is who?
Northwestern and western Iran.
Isn't that interesting? We know the Medes in Persia. We know Iran is ancient Persia, all that coast right there. Read down here. Persia was
never renamed by its people. Iran is a native name they always use, while Persia was a label given by ancient Greeks. In 1935, the Iranian government formally asked other countries to use Iran in official letters to reflect the country's true history.
So this is why we have this big war that they keep trying to take out Iran. This is part of it, Mishpachah. The Mosai is going to use some of that to destroy Babylon. How? Let's look at the bright arrows. What does the term broken arrow mean?
Primarily means a U.S. military code word for an accidental nuclear weapon incident. A desperate call for air support when troops are overrun or a city of Oklahoma, in a city of Oklahoma.
So accidental nuclear weapon, right? Broken arrow means that a missile is lost or stolen and fired.
I think there was a movie.
There's a movie called Broken Arrow with, what's the guy? Y'all can look it up. Gather the Shield. And they're trying to build a golden dome over America now. The Iron Dome. Notice, Iron Dome, Esau, is over Israel. But they're trying to make the golden dome over America. That's what they're planning. Let's look at a quick little video so we can get some essence of that.
Brother Shay, real quick. We have a Jubu who's causing a lot of problems in the world. He goes by the name Bibi, right?
Yes.
Well, his last name, for some of y'all may notice already, is not Netanyahu. It's a Russian name. Okay? So when you shake that tree, you'll realize that these people are all connected with the same Esau. The Russians, the Jubus, and all of those people. All of them are connected. So that's all I got to say.
One big family affair. That's right. All right, let's look at this video. I found this video very interesting. It's 1 minute and 29 seconds. Let's listen. Notice it's called what?
Bright Arrow.
Bright Arrow. These are the new vehicles that they're putting on the new systems on the vehicles currently, Mishpachah. This got leaked. Somebody leaked this information out. I noticed where the scenery is in the Levantine area, right? Where they have the Middle Eastern war going on. This is the real one here. They just showed you a simulation that is a real test here. So I just wanted to share that video. It's interesting to call it Bright Arrow, right? And Elabit is owned by the Jubus over there. When you look at, Rebbe showed you that in previous classes too. But the movie called Broken Arrow, they have a system called Broken Arrow or Bright Arrow, and prophecy talks about a bright arrow. And we know arrow means projectile, whether it's a bullet, a missile, a rocket, and bright pertaining to what? The nuclear side of it, something that's going to explode greatly. Gather the shields. So we see, Mishpachah, everything is falling into place. We just have to sit back, be obedient, and watch everything fulfill. Now I'm not going to say, like some people believe, that the world is going to be destroyed by nuclear, thermal, whatever it is. That's not going to happen. Most High is going to preserve his children here on earth while things happen. Some places will be destroyed with nuclear stuff, but not the entire earth as some people teach. Okay? All right. I don't want y'all to be afraid. Verses 12.
Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambush.
This is what Esau has always been doing. He's always out there trying to overtake. But the Most High is going to come and flip that right back into against him.
For Yahuwah had both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. O thou that dwelleth upon many waters, abundant in treasures.
How do I know, or how do we know that this is talking about Esau or America or Babylon today? America is the only country, Mishpachar. Read down in the AI overview.
The United States has military installations on every continent. Every
continent.
Antarctica.
Every continent.
Operating over 750 overseas bases across more than 80 countries and territories.
So, oh, that thou dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures.
Thine end is come, and the measures of thy covetousness.
I hope y'all can see the connections, Mishpachar. The prophets are speaking. We're just connecting the dots to show you current day where we at. Verse 19.
The portion of Jacob is not like them.
The portion of Jacob is not like them because we are a stronger people. We are a wiser people. Only if we adhere to the law, statutes, and commandments.
For he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahuwah of hosts is his name.
And that highlighted part there goes back to Genesis 25:23. It says, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So this right here is coming back into fruition. The Most High is bringing it right back to us. Verse 20 and 21.
Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider.
The Most High is telling us here, through the prophet Jeremiah, that he's going to use some of us within these battles to destroy and break down the kingdom. He didn't tell us to go out there and form armies and protest and stuff. Keep the commandments, be patient, and when it's time to move, he'll move us strategically through the lands and bring us to where he wants us to be during the tribulation time. All of this is part of prophecy that's happening before our times. Okay? Verse 25.
Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yahuwah, which destroyeth all the earth.
Mountain, again, is power. It deals with governments. The destroying mountain is America. They are the ones that's destroying everything currently. Finish that.
And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain.
A government that no longer exists. The United States is directly or indirectly involved in many global conflicts. When you ask the AI, they don't want to come out and say outright. But they'll say, like when they say, I plead the fifth, or like they will say when they're in these government agencies, I cannot confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
That's how they speak. Read that for me, the AI overview.
The United States is not literally destroying the earth, but scientifically and economically, data shows it has historically been the largest contributor to global environment degradation.
That's all we need. All right, let me play this last video. And then we're going to say shalom after this. We got a few more slides. Fair use, fair use.
From Korea to Vietnam, from Somalia to Syria, from Panama to Pakistan, the United States of America has used military force in over 100 foreign interventions since 1945. Some lasted days, others decades. And many, like in Iraq and Afghanistan, became so-called forever wars. Open-ended military operations with no clear victory, no exit plan, and no public accountability. Let's trace the arc of these wars In World War I and World War II, the US fought clear enemies in defined battles. These wars had formal declarations, treaties, victories. They ended. But the Cold War introduced something new. Wars without borders. Wars fought in shadows. Wars by proxy. The Korean War never ended. It paused with an armistice in 1953. US troops are still stationed along the DMZ, that's 70 years later. Then came Vietnam. Nearly 60,000 American soldiers dead. Over 2 million Vietnamese lives lost. A war fought in the name of containment. It ended not with a parade, but a helicopter lifting off a rooftop in Saigon. That was supposed to be a lesson, but the lesson wasn't learned. Instead, the Cold War ended and the interventions intensified. In 1989, the US invaded Panama. In 1991, it launched Operation Desert Storm in Iraq. In 1993, American forces were dropped into Somalia. 1999, they bombed Yugoslavia. 2001, Afghanistan. 2003, Iraq again. Each time, the justification was different. Remove a dictator, defend democracy, fight terrorism, protect human rights, uphold international law.
Now, tell me, Mishpachah, if this isn't power. It says, I am against you, O destroying mountain. Keep that in mind.
But the results were eerily similar. Destabilized regions, extended occupations, and a steady stream of US casualties, often accompanied by a flood of civilian death.
So there you have it, Mishpachah. All right, this is our last slide here. Book of Esdras, 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blow. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of man is betwixt the heel, and the hand. Other question, Esdras, asked thou not.
So Esdras only focused on what was coming to pass. He says, before the borders of the world stood. So before anything happened, it just confirms before the children were born knowing either good or bad, before the worlds were formed, the Most High had already written this script, Mishpachah. He had already written that Esau would be the end of the world and Jacob would be the beginning that followeth it. So today, Edom, part 2, the end of the world. I know we went over a little bit of time. I wanted to make sure I get out all of it, to understand that Edom's kingdom is coming to an end. Read this for me again, Kifo.
2nd Esdras 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So, Mishpachah, we're going to close here today. Our kingdom is coming. Israel is the beginning. We are living in the end days of Esau and all the prophecies. So to encourage you as a family, keep the commandments, love your brother and sister, teach your children, say what the Most High say, have families, plant gardens, get out of Babylon, and focus on obeying what he says. All of the other things that's going to happen, the destruction, he's going to protect us. Don't worry about those things. He's going to lead us exactly where we need to be, how we need to be, when we need to be. All we have to do is follow his instructions. Stop worrying about those things. Don't be like the other heathens. So I hope today we learned something and we get to complete the whole class today for having a part 3. Thank you for bearing with me. Kifo, any last things, and then Rebbe?
I would only like to encourage everyone to stay strong, be very attentive to what's in the news, because it's our understanding of what's going on and how to prepare for what's coming. Stay blessed. Stay strong, stay healthy, because health is wealth.
Kifa, Rebbe, floor is yours.
All right, family. Once again, excellent work, Brother Shea and Kifa. Keep up the good work. May the Most High bless you all for keeping the fire burning. This is, again, very important for our people to at least have the information that they can go and evaluate, research it for yourself. Don't just believe what the churches have been saying and people have been saying. When the Most High created people, he put certain people in position to fulfill his prophecies. And if those people are not there, how can his word be true? Is either his word is true or it is false. So when people say there's no more Esau, run as fast as you can, right? Like you step in doo-doo or something. So I want to remind everyone, tomorrow night we're going to be meeting up to go into some interesting things. Excuse me. And we will also be opening up the time for Saturday Night Live for those who want to join in. I think Brother Shea said he's going to be there also. So I give praises for all the hard work. And that's all I have to say. Pray for all of us and continue to support the ministry as we continue working out this on the behalf of all Israel. Hallelujah.
Elder?
All praises to the Most High. All praises. It was Brother O'Shea. Really, it was a wonderful class. I want to give the Heavenly Father thanks for you and also Brother Kifa that reads. And we also give thanks again for our teacher, Brother Yona, with all his wonderful words of encouragement likewise. So we're going to pray. Father in heaven, it is a good thing to give you thanks once again for the wonderful works and your blessing upon us on this holy Shabbat day. We thank you again for all of us that participate. We pray that God may continue to bless us, help us to enjoy the rest of the day. We thank you, Father, for the offerings that was given. We ask you to bless it. All of us that gave and those that couldn't give, that they too may be able to give another time. Bless the food that we are about to eat. Allow it, Father, to be strength and good health for us because we love you and we thank you. Through your Son, Yahushua, we pray. Amen. Let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart be acceptable in your sight. O Abba Yahweh, who is our strength and our Redeemer.
All right, Mishpachah, I want to say shalom to you all. Until tomorrow night, we say shalom.